It all comes down to this. The Monsignor Martin Catholic High School Athletic Association Boys Varsity Lacrosse Champion will be crowned today from the Dembski Sports Complex, the home of the Canisius College Golden Griffins. Vinny Cristiano, Tim Kenny bringing you the action today between the St. Joe's Marauders and the Nichols Vikings. Now, Tim, we got a chance to see both these teams in action this Monday. Both these teams victorious, and it seemed like the key in those two games was these two teams came out with a really hot start in the first quarter.
That's right. They jumped out on the competition. St. Joe's jumped out on St. Francis early. In fact, they had 8 goals in the first half. And Nichols jumped up 3-0 and did not look back.
No,
they kept going. They controlled that game from start to finish there, whereas St. Joe's had a little bit of different. They kind of tailed off in the second half, and they had a struggle and fight to get that 10-8 victory at the end, but it was never out of control. It seemed as if they had control of it. They just couldn't put the ball in the net. So today is going to be interesting because you do have two teams that have come out with some firepower and got some real talent to put the ball in the goal. The defense, I think, is going to be a big part of this whole game. If you think about it on the defensive side, you've got some big boys over here in Nichols. They don't have a lot of numbers. That's the difference. But they know how to control the game, whereas you've got Palasoto leading the defense for St. Joe's, and some younger guys. So it's going to be very interesting how this balances out, but a fast start is going to be key for both of these teams.
Yeah, very good point. 14-3 the score. Nichols over Canisius on Monday. St. Joe's wins 10-8 the final score. We'll see who comes out victorious today. In just a couple of moments, we'll be back with the action. This is the championship game for the Monsignor Martin on Western New York Athletics.
Avoiding care can lead to worse problems. Don't delay care. We're here for you.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA, with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics. Call our Buffalo office today for an efficient, personal approach for all of your transportation needs.
When it's time to sell your home, start with a visit to howardhanna.com, ranked the #1 real estate site for sellers. A few clicks will show you the sales price you can expect for your home. We can get you the most money in the quickest amount of time because we know where the local buyers are and how to reach them. So if it's time to sell your home, visit howardhanna.com today, and we'll match you with a local Howard Hanna agent to sell your home fast.
I love being home.
Thank you again for joining us for today's Monsignor Martin Catholic High School Athletic Association Boys Varsity Lacrosse Championship. The St. Joe's Marauders, 5-time defending champions, going for their 6th straight. Nichols Vikings looking to end that streak and get their first championship since 2005. Vinny Cristiano, Tim Kenny bringing you the action here today from the Dembski Sports Complex at the home of the Canisius College Golden Griffins. We've got just a couple of seconds till game time. Tim, you mentioned before this broadcast, the key to this game might be at the X. The Nichols Vikings, very, very lethal at face-offs this season.
That's right. Aiden Porter, the junior Fogo for them, has been hitting at a clip of 73% on this season, and that was the key in their game against Canisius. He went 18 of 21, and that's how they were able to control that game. So St. Joe's, on the other hand, so they had about 41% in their game. It tailed off a little bit in the second half, so it's a deceptive stat, but they have a lot of work cut out for them. And I think St. Joe's you're going to see a lot of work from the wings with long poles trying to come in, muck it up at the beginning, and then have the long poles come in there and try and get that. I think that's where they're going to look at it. But the key to the tempo of the game is if Nichols could get off on the face-off act, they're going to control that tempo. We just mentioned they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 kids on the bench.
Yeah.
You know, you look at that's a small number, and they're gonna rely on their stars to keep going. So if they can control the tempo, they could also control the pace of the play and how much energy is being expended by their players.
That's a really good point. And sort of contrary to that, St. Joe's has a very deep bench. And their roster is also made up of a lot of underclassmen, and they have freshmen and sophomores that perform at a high level, and then possibly their best player, Tyler Smart, is only a junior, so they have young blood sort of for the Marauders that lead them into battle each and every week. But this one should be a good game. Interestingly, that you mentioned, of course, the lack of, I'll say, depth for Nichols, not a lot of players on the roster. I think St. Francis maybe is a bad matchup for the Marauders because St. Francis is a very physical team.
Yes.
St. Joe's has a lot of speed. These are two teams, though, that do have a lot of speed. It'll be interesting to see if fatigue comes in at any point because both these teams have to sort of commit to this game at such a high rate of speed and a high velocity of offense.
Well, it's amazing. When you look at it, they are young, all right? So Tyler Smart for St. Joe's is a junior. He's the elder statesman in that. There are other scorers. Gott, Casada, freshman. Lasky, a junior. Sandin for Nichols, sophomore. Zacker's a senior, so they have a little bit of experience on that. Hamdani, one of the Hamdani twins, freshman as well. So this is going to be an interesting matchup here.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. We have our opening face-off, and the Nichols Vikings have possession. Of course, that's Porter getting possession for them. That ball is going to go to the far side. A good play there to keep it in play from Nichols. Now St. Joe's will take over with possession in Nichols territory, and it's Tyler Smart who's going to start off for the Marauders. He'll circle back. The ball gets jarred free. A good play there from Cody Bauer. Nichols across midfield now with Bigelow. Bigelow sends a pass to the middle. That's Bauer with it. Sends it on the far side, and they'll calm things down. Hamdani sends it back to Bauer now, and the Vikings are going to reset and begin on offense.
Unfortunate for the turnover, but that St. Joe's got what they wanted on that faceoff right off. See, they mucked it up, had the ball come around, and they were able to pick it up. Unfortunate it got turned over. Now they got to play defense, but that's a good sign for St. Joe's at the beginning of the game for them.
Bauer looked to charge the net. He thinks better of it and now works his way around behind the St. Joe's cage. Aiden Cusack with pressure on him. He looks to drive now. Bauer looks to pass. He's forced outside by Cusack. Sends that back to the top of the formation for Zacher. Zacher driving, switches hands. He waits, doesn't have a shot yet. He's going to send the pass behind the net once more. That's fielding the feet of Jimerson, and he will collect that one, being pressured by Latour.
St. Joe's coming out man-to-man, playing straight man-to-man right now.
Jimerson with a shot and a save by Gallo. And I have a feeling we'll see a lot of that today. Two pretty good goaltenders here in this matchup. Brock Jones for the Vikings, 602 save percentage, 701 save percentage for Gallo. Some muddy play there at midfield. Nichols has a turnover now. They have possession, looking to work their way in is Sandin, and he gets knocked over. A flag flies, and we're going to have a penalty here, and the St. Joe's coaching staff is pretty unhappy about that call.
Well, I think that they're looking at it, and they think, I'm not sure who had the ball for Nichols, but it looked like he jumped. He didn't get hit, and so I think that's what the coaches are talking about right now.
So it's Ventresca is going to take an E in the box here for the Marauders.
You know, it's interesting, Vinny. You're looking at Jimerson, McKay Jimerson. He left the game against Canisius with a knee injury. So this is a good sign for him to come out and have a quick move and a good shot right off the bat for Nichols.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. He's going to be a big player for them, and they'll need him to perform in this championship game. Still 0-0 Nichols with a man advantage situation right now. Zacher has on the far side. The Vikings are working the ball around pretty good right now. Jimerson's going to have it behind the net. He sends a high pass on in front. That's going to go astray back towards midfield. It bounces off a leg back towards Nichols' territory. Deflected.
I think they're going to say it was deflected, but maybe not. I thought that's what they were going to call.
It did look deflected to me. Yeah. I would tend to agree with you there, but regardless, they're going to give possession here to the Marauders if the penalty expires. Now Tyler Smart looks to drive. Smart being double-teamed there. He loses the ball once more, and being tangled up there is Cusack. That's Gabe Cusack. And they're going to call a loose ball push there, so the Marauders are going to get the ball back. And I do agree, that looked like Cusack was running freely there, then got very suddenly tangled up.
He did. What you're seeing right now, Tyler Smart's getting the ball. They're almost triple-teaming him on these drives. They're not going to make somebody else beat them.
And they score! Guess who? It's Cusack on the pass from Tyler Smart. The Marauders take an early lead with 9:28 left to go in quarter number one. Tyler he found his way free, and Cusack buries it to give the Marauders the lead.
And that was going to be my next point. My point is he's got to be now, and he's got to keep his head up, see the field, and know the pressure's coming. They're going to double him. Somebody's going to be open. And at that time, he hit Cusack for the goal, and right there, St. Joe's got to love it. They go up 1-0. That's a fast start for them.
Yeah, and we talked about that pregame. Fast starts was the key to both of these teams' victories on Monday in the semifinals. Now today, a quick start could be very helpful here to St. Joe's as they bury the first goal after defending the man-down situation.
There's another nice win right there by the freshman, Jefferson Long.
Yeah, Jefferson Long and Youngbluth with the 2 faceoffs for the Marauders. Now a pass inside to Lasky, and the Marauders will calm down here as they will get their main offensive firepower in this game here. Levi Roost and Cusack getting back on the field now for the Marauders.
I believe Coach Hudecki is going to use the younger guys. You've played this team twice, so they know each other well. He's throwing in the younger guys at the faceoff to kind of be a little bit of more of a wild card right now.
Yeah, usually Ventresca takes those faceoffs. Today it looks like it's going to be Youngbluth and Long. Now behind the net, the Marauders working with it. Smart has the ball. He looked to drive. He's forced around the back of the net. He cuts in front. Takes a couple checks. That one gets him high and knocks the ball free again.
Yeah, he's getting covered really tight by Bigelow, not letting him do anything.
And St. Joe's a good play at midfield there to keep it by Palasoto, but he loses his balance. Now Nichols with a man advantage. They take a shot and a save made by Gallo. Odd man rush there for the Vikings. And Gallo got himself in front of that shot. Sandin had a golden opportunity there, but Gallo stands tall and keeps the Vikings off the scoreboard for now.
Well, you get away with one there. Sandin had 4 goals in their game against Canisius the other day, so great job by Gallo on the save, but St. Joe's needs to find him on transition because they can't let him get in there and get too many of those shots.
Zacher cuts. He unloads one. Another save by the goaltender. Keeping out of the net. A long pass ahead. That one's looking for Palasoto. He's going to not yet corral it. Then he gets tripped up, still has the ball. Quick pass to Cusack. Cusack gets drilled high, and flags fly all over. And the ball comes free, but there's going to be a whistle. That was a dangerous play.
Yes, it was.
As Aiden Cusack came in with the ball, and he got blindsided there by the Viking defender and cross-checked. His helmet came flying off onto the turf. He looks okay, which is a good thing, but a penalty will be assessed to Bigelow, I believe, after a very dangerous collision.
What was interesting in the games the other day, Bigelow has a tendency to get into penalty problems, and that causes problems for Nichols. He didn't have a penalty last game. He played a very, very clean game. This time, he comes right out. Now, it's the Johns Hopkins. He's going to Johns Hopkins, and so he's that type of player, but he's got to learn. Those are the plays you can't do in a game like this.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Now, the Marauders, with their first man advantage situation of this game, they're up 1-0 here. Vogel moves it around to the near side for Quesada. Back up Vogel. Vogel to the far side, and Roos will move that down to Cusack. Cusack has the first Marauder goal today. Back to the near side, Tyler Smart. Down low, Quesada fires a shot. That one deflects off the side of that. He has it in his feet and will regain control of that ball. And we'll move that to Tyler Smart.
Jones saw that the whole way. He had a great position on that one.
Smart flips one to Quesada. He's going to try again. Shoots and scores! Quesada with a little pump fake and fired that one in the top half of the net and extends the Marauders' lead to 2. It's 2-2.
Well, that was a great 2-man game they had there on the right-hand side. And once again, Tyler Smart, being the veteran-type player, seeing the field, the double came, and Quesada was wide open, but the push kicked it right back, got it back to him quickly, and the position put it right over the top of Jones, and they now have got a 2-0 lead with 7:09 to go.
They're starting hot, they are, the Marauders. I mean, this is what we talked about earlier, hot starts. Now, the thing is, we've got a lot of game left. St. Joe's has to keep this momentum going if they want to win. Now, for Nichols on the flip side of that, I mean, they saw what St. Francis did on Monday. They very easily could switch this game back. It's only 2 goals, but of course the Marauders look like they're in good shape here early. Porter with it for the Vikings. He's got a chance. He takes a shot and a save they made there by Gallo that went off of his knee, and the ground ball is still loose. Still digging for it, and now eventually emerging with it are the Marauders, and spinning away is Lasky. Good play there to find that in a lot of traffic. Gallo with a long pass. I'm looking for Clark. Clark right at midfield is going to dish that away. That's a bounce pass looking for Gabe Cusack, and he turns on the Jets but will spin away on offense, and a timeout will be called here by the Marauders. 2-0 is the score. St. Joe's up early. 6:35 left to go in quarter number 1. This is high school lacrosse on Western New York Athletics.
When you're ready to buy a home, start with a visit to howardhanna.com. You can find new listings before they appear anywhere else and refine your search for immediate notifications of similar properties. Plus, get pre-qualified to make your offer stronger and connect with a local Howard Hanna agent who knows your area and how to close the deal. So when you're ready to buy, visit howardhanna.com and find your home fast.
I love being home.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics. Call our Buffalo office today for an efficient, personal approach for all of your transportation needs.
Even the most prepared moms experience the unexpected. When you do, we're here for you. Western New York Immediate Care provides quick, quality care for non-emergent injuries and illnesses. Go to WNYImmediatecare.com for more information.
And we are back. Vinny Cristiano, Tim Kenny bringing you the call here of the Monsignor Martin Catholic High School Athletic Association Boys Varsity Lacrosse Championship between the St. Joe's Marauders and Nichols Vikings. St. Joe's up 2-0 here early, Tim, and we'll start with Tyler Smart. Has the ball. He works his way in. He fires a shot. That one just goes wide and will be backed up by the Marauders.
Yeah, he got it. He had the wide open look right there. You're going to take that. As long as it's backed up, you have no problem doing that, especially if he had the one-on-one matchup that time, not a double team.
Yeah, he has not been one-on-one very much, or very often, I should say, early in this game. Nichols has spent a lot of time double-teaming him. Levi Roost with the ball now for the Marauders. They're going to work their way around. He might have a lane. That one's knocked free. Good defensive play there from Cody Bauer. Bauer works his way towards midfield and across. He looks for an outlet, and he does not really have one right now, so he's going to have to stop and send one back towards midfield for Jack Green. Green will take it in now. He intercepts and drives wide. He waits. He fires a shot. That one's saved by Gallo. Another great save by the Marauder goaltender. The junior has been playing fantastic today, and he has kept a couple of Vikings shots out of the back of the net. And now the Marauders with another chance on offense. Tyler Smart gets the pass from Cusack. And we have an offsides call against St. Joe's, so Nichols will get the ball right back again.
Yeah, it looked as if Wiley Pottle kind of stepped over the line and realized to step back and got caught by the ref on that one.
Yeah, Andrew Bigelow sent a patch there that was too far for Zacher on the far side of the field. So right after the Vikings get the ball, they hand it right back to St. Joe's, and now the Marauders will have another possession at midfield. Once again, Marauders going left to right here to start this quarter number one in their all-white uniforms. Nichols with green jerseys, gray helmets, and the white shorts in today's contest. Casada with the ball here for St. Joe's. He's spinning around, trying to drive his way to the net. He can't get there. Defended well by Franziak. Still with it behind the net here, and he will get a nice screen from Smart. He tries to fire a shot. He scores! A great play there. Tyler Smart and Casada hook up again. This time, Casada doesn't get a pass from Smart. He gets a screen, and they extend the lead to 3. It's 3-0 Marauders.
Well, you can see what St. Joe's is doing right now. Tyler is the bait. So wherever he's going, the eyes are going. They're going to utilize that. We talked about some of these other players have to step up. And so far right now, Casada got his second goal of the game, and he did a great job with that lefty snipe right over Brock Jones' shoulder.
That was almost the exact same shot as last time. Casada, the second highest goal scorer on this Marauder team, behind Smart, of course. Smart leads with 52. Casada has 34. And a great season gets a little bit greater for the freshman James Casada, who now has 2 goals in the Monsignor Martin championship game. A face-off win there for Nichols. That's Porter. And he's going to send a pass back to his goaltender, Jones, who then gives it right back to him. And Jones is going to get a give-and-go here. Interesting play from the Vikings. Jones dodges the check, sends a pass up the middle to Zacher. Nichols with something going on offense here. He spins around a check. Zacher with an opportunity. He cuts in, still has it, and fires a shot. That one just goes wide. Diving for his Gallo. He couldn't get there. And another great save by Gallo. I cannot believe it. Gallo robbed him blind. That one had the entire net to go into, and somehow Gallo got in the way.
My goodness, he was about 4 feet in the air sideways and made that save.
I cannot believe it. Gallo might as well have took money out of everybody's pockets in the stands. I think that would have been easier than the save he just made. St. Joe's gets the ball back with Smart. He comes in, he fires a shot and scores. And it's 4-0 St. Joe's, and the Marauders have all the momentum right now.
Right there was just a simple one-on-one where Smart was able to just come down the left-hand side. He beat Bigelow, had a one-on-one matchup, was able to plow that shot right in. And if you're St. Joe's right now, you've got to be thrilled. You've got a 4-0 lead. You know, your goalie is standing on his head. And so he's making great saves, except you got to keep getting that going because sometimes those ebbs and flows in goals sometimes happen. So you need to just keep taking advantage of having a hot goalie right now and keep pressing it down the field.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I don't know if this is sustainable from Gallo. He's a fantastic goaltender, but, I mean, he's standing on his head and at times is flying through the air. Another timeout here, this time the first of the game for the Nichols Vikings. 4-0 to score. We'll be back in a moment. This is Monsignor Martin High School Lacrosse, the championship on Western New York Athletics.
When you're ready to buy a home, start with a visit to howardhanna.com. You can find new listings before they appear anywhere else and refine your search for immediate notifications of similar properties. Plus, get pre-qualified to make your offer stronger and connect with a local Howard Hanna agent who knows your area and how to close the deal. So when you're ready to buy, visit howardhanna.com and find your home fast.
I love being home.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics. Call our Buffalo office today for an efficient, personal approach for all of your transportation needs.
And welcome back, everyone, to the Monsignor Martin Catholic High School Athletic Association Boys Varsity Lacrosse Championship game between the St. Joe's Marauders and Nichols Vikings. Vinny Cristiano, Tim Kenny bringing you the action here from the Dembski Sports Complex, the home of the Canisius College Golden Griffins. Their baseball team in action today, beating crosstown rival Niagara earlier, 11-0 to score in that game for the MAC Championships. Tournament, I should say. This a championship of its own, not a tournament, and another face-off here after a Marauder goal. The Vikings have possession at least temporarily, and they'll work their way up the field. That one's knocked free by the Marauders twice, and picking it up is Nichols. It's Hamdani. And that ball will go out of play on the far side, will be awarded to the Marauders.
That's the fourth turnover right now for Nichols, and both teams struggled in their semifinal games. Nichols had 19 turnovers and St. Joe's had 20. So that's going to be a key to this too. If Nichols is trying to control the pace, they got to take care of the ball better.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. We saw that. We've gotten a chance to call a couple games earlier this year, and between St. Joe's and Canisius, that was really the story, is unforced errors. So the team that can clean those up the best throughout the remainder of this game will have a greater opportunity to put balls in the back of the net because they have possession. An offside call again on St. Joe's. A pass right in front for Nichols. They take a shot. They score. Mason Sandin, after getting robbed just a couple moments ago, finally buries one, and Nichols is on the board. It's 4-1.
Well, right there, the offsides was a turnover. And credit Nichols at that point. They got the ball right away. The whistle blew. And Sandin was cutting right down the field. He's a special player. We talked about it in transition. You can't leave him open. Everybody else, you can take your chance. Him, most points he's going to take it, unless you're like Gallo on the last time where he dove 3 feet in the air into the sideways and made a spectacular save.
Yeah, I don't know how long the Marauders are going to be able to shut out the Vikings. It ends with just over 3:30 left to go in the first quarter. Sandin, the leading goal scorer on this Viking squad, adds the first one for Nichols in this championship game. With the ball here for Nichols right now is Lawton Zacher, I should say, right near midfield, and head coach Pete Hideki was screaming for a substitution mistake there for Nichols, but it was not called by the referees, and the Vikings remain with the ball. It's Byer.
Yeah, if you're St. Joe's, you have to watch out for Zacher now. He is a very strong player. You saw him take one move, and there was a great save by Gallo. He is a very dangerous player coming from that side, especially as a lefty.
Rob behind the net, a nice move there made. Trying to cut to the front is Byer, and then possession will be awarded to the Marauders. Again, another turnover there And the referees will blow the whistle. Across midfield is St. Joe's. Bounce pass to the far side for Ventresca. He's got a little bit of room. He waits. Cuts inside. In front, Quesada looking for his third of the game. He couldn't quite bury it.
What
That's
a
Luca
tremendous
Race, I'm
look.
sorry.
What a tremendous look right there. He saw Quesada right on the doorstep, and Quesada just couldn't get that shot around, but that was great field vision right there.
Luca Race with the pass. Right behind that is Smart. Smart now finds Quesada again. Quesada with a lane, and he tried to fire a bad angle shot. That one went high and wide.
Well, the freshman's not afraid to shoot, is he?
No, he is not.
He's got 2 goals already, and he keeps going. And if he finds himself open, I'm sure Coach Hudecki wants him to keep shooting that.
We already mentioned he is second on this Marauder team in goals this season. As the Marauders will work the ball around here. Quesada does have it right now. He waits. Looked like he was going to shoot, but he sends it back to Vogel instead, and Levi Roos will get another pass. The Marauders working the ball around quickly here.
Nichols going into his zone now.
Vogel with it to Smart. Back up to Vogel. They'll work the ball around a couple of times, getting it back at the top of the formation. Vogel and Quesada. No shot clock in high school lacrosse here, at least in the Monsignor Martin. So the Marauders going to take full advantage of their basically unlimited time, quote unquote, I'll call it, which is not technically true. Smart's going to unload one, and a save made there by Brock Jones. He got the stick on that one, and he backs it up to give the Vikings possession. A good play there all the way around from Brock Jones, the goaltender. And a long pass towards midfield is going to bounce, and the Vikings maintain possession here with Jack Green.
Jones did that a couple of times against Canisius. He's very athletic and quick getting out of the goal to try and beat the offensive player to get that ball possession, and you just saw right there he's able to do it again.
Both these goaltenders do that a lot. Gallo, you'll see a couple of times do it. There's not been very many shots for Nichols, though, and of those shots, a lot of them have been on goal, and Gallo's had to make the save. I'm sure we'll see him dive for those a couple times later. Right on in front, Nichols tried to find a streaking Jimerson. That was a good look there from Lawton Zacher, but just couldn't quite connect on that one. That would have been another golden opportunity for Nichols. Instead, the pass goes astray and out of bounds. And with under a minute to go in this game, or in this first quarter, I should say, of the game, St. Joe's has possession here, up by 3, and a long pass ahead. He's going to find Gabe Cusack. He had the first goal. He gets tripped up, and the flag will fly there as Charles Kent got the stick in between the legs of the junior Gabe Cusack.
That's one of those unfortunate plays. You're playing good defense. Your stick just drops down and gets stuck in between the legs, and you're going to get called for it. Unfortunately, it was actually pretty good defense.
Yeah, not much Kent can do about that one. The senior just sort of got caught in a bad position there, not of his own fault, but, of course, tripped up Cusack. I mentioned Cusack had the first goal of this game. St. Joe's with another man-up opportunity here, and Aiden Cusack's going to have the ball here and send it back up top to Matt Vogel. Aiden Cusack back in the game for the first time since taking a hit earlier in this one that knocked his helmet free. He'll get the ball here. Gabe Cusack will rather, and back up top to Roost. Vogel has it now, under 30 seconds to go in this opening quarter. Vogel has it, and we'll move it back to Levi Roost again. Far side,
almost. Excuse me, Ben. It's almost. They play it like it's a man up, against the zone like this, so they're going to be very patient.
And errant pass from Cusack to Cusack could not connect, and now with just 10 seconds to go in the opening quarter, Nichols will have possession and try to run out this clock. Jack Green tasked with doing so. He sends a pass back to Brock Jones, who will let the time expire on quarter number 1. St. Joe's with still 17 seconds left of man-up time, and they will take advantage of that when we begin the second quarter in just a few moments. 4-1 the score after 1. St. Joe's on top of Nichols. Still 3 quarters left from the Monsignor Martin Boys Varsity Lacrosse Championship on Western New York Athletics.
When you're ready to buy a home, start with a visit to howardhanna.com. You can find new listings before they appear anywhere else and refine your search for immediate notifications of similar properties. Plus, get pre-qualified to make your offer stronger and connect with a local Howard Hanna agent who knows your area and how to close the deal. So when you're ready to buy, visit howardhanna.com and find your home fast.
I love being home.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics. Call our Buffalo office today for an efficient, personal approach for all of your transportation needs.
The St. Joe's Marauders up 4-1 after 12 minutes of play in this Monsignor Martin Catholic High School Athletic Association Boys Varsity Lacrosse Championship game. Vinny Cristiano, Tim Kenny bringing the action here from the Dembski Sports Complex. And Tim, we have had quite the first quarter. We had acrobatic saves. We had quick goals. We had a pretty even day at the X, though. That was something we talked about. The advantage could be for Nichols. So far, St. Joe's has mitigated that in this game.
Yeah, Nichols is holding a 4-2 advantage on the faceoffs. However, St. Joe's is mucking it up. There was only one time, and it wasn't even off a faceoff, where they got caught in the transition at that point. So that's part of their game plan right now. They know that Porter is very, very good. Just got to kind of slow it down a little bit so they don't get, and then let the long poles from the wings come on in. Try and get that ball, or at least slow everything down, because the worst thing you could give up right now in a game like this is that quick goal. That quick, get the face-off, come down, odd man rush, and give it up. So right now, credit St. Joe's for actually playing very well in that game plan.
Yeah, Nichols will start with possession on the far side, or near side of the field, all the way to the left. And now we're going to have a quick timeout, not really timeout, just sort of as they check the personnel here, it looks like. So we're going to restart that.
I think the Nichols coaches were saying that there were too many men on the field for St. Joe's. They just stopped and counted, and I don't think so. I think the ref fell for that one.
Yeah. He may have seen the mismatch. Now, Nichols still a man down here for only 11 more seconds. We have played 6, but they're going to reset the clock here, I believe, to get back up to 12. So that should put about 17 seconds back on the clock for the man-up situation for the Marauders. Again, we begin quarter number 2. 4-1 the score. St. Joe's has the advantage. These teams did meet twice this season already. St. Joe's, of course, undefeated in Monsignor Martin play this season. They were, of course, victorious in both those games by virtue of being undefeated in conference play. That's sort of how it works. 13-6 for the score was of game number 1. 6-5 the score, though, of game number 2. Now, sort of the way this game is trending, I think we're going to get a little bit of a higher scoring game than a 6-5, but it's not out of the question that this does turn into a little bit of a more defensive contest as the teams maybe get used to playing each other, possibly.
It could turn into a rock fight. That 6-5 game was basically a rock fight.
Yeah.
Both defenses and offenses were struggling, and it was an enjoyable game. Oh, here's a steal
loose
right
ball
now.
here. Cusack looking for a second of the game. He jumps in front, takes a shot, and scores. The turnover forced by St. Joe's. They extend their lead back to 4. It's 5-1 Marauders.
Right there, that was a great double team. They double teamed Sandin in the corner, and he lost the ball, and the goalie was out. So Brock Jones had come out to be a relief valve, and he could. By the time he got back in there, Cusack was right on the doorstep, did a fake low, went high, and it was an easy goal for him.
Yeah, Cusack took advantage of that one. Only 10 seconds into quarter number 2, the Marauders take advantage of their man-up situation, and they out-personnel the Vikings. That double team works, as Tim said, and now they've extended the lead back to 4. It's 5-1. We go back to the X here for the first face-off of this second quarter. And that one's going to be scooped backwards by Aiden Porter, giving possession to the Vikings one more time. And that ball's knocked free. Good play there from Lasky. Clark tried to pick it up, and he's drilled without the ball. The Marauders pass it ahead, though. Kashera head managed that to Cusack. Cusack gives it back to him now. Gabe Kashera with it. Long pass right in front. Smart has it. Behind the back, he scores! Tyler Smart with a highlight reel goal, and he extends the Marauders' lead. It's 6-1 St. Joe's.
Oh, my goodness. But let me tell you what. First start with the pass.
Oh, my.
From Kashera. The long pole got that ball in the middle with a lot of traffic, and he saw Smart down on the doorstep and was able to dump that pass down with the long pole. That is not easy. That's a tremendous job.
I mean, that play all the way around was impressive. First of all, Liam Clark gets drilled after sort of playing the ball, but he didn't have possession of it. Kashera picks it up, moves it ahead to Cusack, gets it back. We saw Kashera score 2 goals against Canisius earlier this year.
That's right.
And that's him making a play on offense, finding Tyler Smart. Athletic play from him to find Smart in front of the net, and Smart jumping up to catch it, and behind the back, a blind shot from Tyler Smart. He's showing why he's one of the most impressive players in this conference. And now the Marauders are awarded possession off of the faceoff as a stick was caught under a Vikings player, and now the Marauders have possession. It's Aiden Cusack. We mentioned we saw him sitting on the bench earlier in this game. We thought maybe he might be out in concussion protocol. Not so. It seems like he's fine, and he returns on offense to play for the Marauders.
Yeah, that hit he took in the first quarter was it was to the head, and they did a check on him. The trainer was down there, and they looked like they cleared him.
And an errant pass there, could not find Casada. So the Vikings will get possession here, starting the clear is Bigelow.
Roche tried to thread that needle right there. Casada was there, but that's a tough pass when you have a lot of sticks in between.
Yeah, I think the Marauders are seeing so many things go right for them right now. They're willing to push the envelope a little bit. That one knocked free from Smart temporarily. Bigelow, I should say, rather. Smart knocked it free, and then he loses it again. Back across midfield. And then the whistles will blow here, and I believe Nichols maybe called a timeout while they still had possession. And Pete Hideki is very unhappy about that.
That's hard. That's one of those bang-bang plays. In live action, that's very hard to see if they called the timeout because it's down the field a little bit right there.
Yeah.
And the ref was standing next to the Nichols player, so the Nichols bench. So you kind of have to assume that the referee saw where the ball was and there was a timeout, even though St. Joe's is not agreeing with the call.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Brendan Burke, the head coach for the Vikings, calling the timeout there. So we will see what they dial up here with this little bit of a break. Just a minute and a half into quarter number 2. The Marauders have tacked on 2 more goals in this quarter. And like we mentioned, Tim, it seems like things are going right for the Marauders here. What does Nichols need to do with this timeout to sort of calm things down and get back to their game plan?
Nichols needs to slow it down a little bit. Yeah, what's happened is they're speeding it up. You right there, you saw Bigelow trying to run it up the field. The ride by St. Joe's collapsed on him, and he didn't see it. So what happens is it knocks down. So what they need to do is just slow it down. Slow it down. You've got players. Get the ball, move the ball around, and make the defense work a little bit for St. Joe's. They're taking a lot of quick shots, Nichols, when they are getting it. So that's going to play into St. Joe's hands because they have more players. We talk about the bench. This type of game, fatigue will play a factor.
All alone is Byer, but he's going to run around behind the net. He gets forced out by Anderson. It looked like he maybe had a golden opportunity. He couldn't take advantage of it, and Zacker's going to have it here for Nichols.
Here's the opportunity right now for Nichols. See if they could work it around, not just get a quick shot. You need to give your defense a little bit of a break.
We mentioned the lack of a shot clock here in high school lacrosse. Sometimes you will see on your screen the shot clock behind the goal there. That is, of course, not in use, so these teams have basically as long as they want, as long as they can maintain possession. Nichols trying to get an opportunity to add their second goal of the game. Behind the net is Byer. Byer being pressured by Clark. He'll send a long pass back up top to Sandin.
St. Joe's extending the defense a little bit, making it a little uncomfortable for Nichols.
Zacher tried to drive here. He gets drilled, and the ball pops free. Picked up by Anderson, and he's got to spin away from Zacher. Zacher's on him, giving him the business there, and it's corralled by Gallo to start the clear for the Marauders.
Great defense on the double-team slide right there for St. Joe's.
Ooh! As Latour is drilled by Bigelow, and he got hit in the head, and he is down. And Bigelow, that's the second time today he has hit a St. Joe's player high. And, I mean, at this point, you got to consider what's happening here. That is not the first time that's happened for Bigelow in this game alone.
No, and we talked about the last game they played that he did not have one penalty. And one of the knocks on him is he gets over-aggressive and knocks people and does plays like that. He lined up. Who was that there?
That was Latour.
He had Latour sitting there. He lined him right up, defenseless, and hit him in the head with a cross check. I'm going to assume that this is going to be a locked-in, possibly more than 2 minutes, because that was a very, very dangerous hit.
That was even more. So, like, the first penalty was on Aiden Cusack. That was a cross check that knocked Cusack's helmet ajar. Now, this penalty is just a body check that Latour was completely not even looking. A long pass from Gallo across midfield. Now, it was sort of a trolley track, if you will. That's a term they use in hockey a lot. But, I mean, regardless, that's a play you cannot make. It's so dangerous to make that play, and safety at some point has to sort of be considered, and it looks like they're going to be giving him more than just a minor penalty here.
Yeah, I think it looks like they're going to be calling him with a four-minute locked in, and they're going to kick him out of the game. I believe that's what they're talking about right now. Because of the first penalty, it was similar, not as violent, but close. I think what the refs are saying is, second one, so this is a locked in, this is an ejection.
And that's a big loss defensively for the Vikings if that's what the final verdict comes down to, because defensively he's one of their better long poles. But, I mean, again, another situation, we mentioned it earlier. Aiden Cusack had the ball, sort of had his back turned, and was cross-checked from Bigelow. That one knocked his helmet ajar. Aiden Cusack able to come back in the game, and that one, again, Bigelow just trying to make a play defensively.
The headshots.
14 penalty, 3 minutes unreleasable. Unreleasable penalty.
He's also ejected.
There's the call. So Bigelow has been ejected from this game, a 3-minute non-releasable penalty. They call it as a cross-check. But again, we mentioned the short bench. This could have sort of long-term implications defensively for the Vikings.
This is big because they're not very deep on the defensive end. So this is a big one right now. And once again, you go back to the safety of the players. That's what the refs have calling this ejection on. This is the second headshot right now to a St. Joe's player by the same individual. And the refs are going to, in order to maintain control, that's where the ejection came from.
And we can see that a lot. Of course, in all sports, there is an official shortage. So, sort of talking about treating the officials, umpires, and referees with respect in these games. And now, certainly, things could get out of hand if plays like that go sort of what's the word I'm looking for? I guess, like, punish, like
unchecked.
Unchecked is a good word to describe that. Sort of if you let that fly early, things could really get out of hand later. If the referees set the tone here, which they are early, and don't allow things like that, that's a good way to keep this game under control physically. We've got a lot of time left. The Marauders with a man-up situation here for 3 minutes. Tyler Smart has it. He's going to wait. He faked a shot. Now he tried to drive to the net, but he doesn't have a lane. And he will reset now and find Quesada.
That's a high IQ play right there. He didn't force anything, pulled it right back out.
Roost will move it before getting it back here. Sends a far pass to Smart. He looks, uncorks one and scores. Tyler Smart with his third of the game. It's 7-1 St. Joe's, and they take advantage of the man-up situation.
Yep. The man up now for another 2:28 since this is St. Joe's opportunity to really extend this out. So in case they do have a second half drought, they've got a big enough buffer now. So if you're Coach Pete Hudecki right now, you have got to be thrilled at this point. And on top of it, you're looking down and you're sitting there going, I think Latour's okay. Latour's okay. He looks like it there. They're looking on the sidelines because that's the most important part of this right now, his helmet. But now if you're St. Joe's, you got to keep extending this out. And if you're Nichols, you're trying to survive this right in LAX 2:28 because St. Joe's smells blood in the water.
Yeah, that's certainly right. And now we mentioned St. Joe's had an 8-1 lead against St. Francis on Monday going into half. And St. Francis outscored the Marauders in half number 2. The Marauders get possession off the faceoff with Lasky. Quick pass, Quesada. Quick pass for Smart, and he couldn't corral it. It looked like they were trying to create a bang-bang play there. Bounce pass towards midfield, and that will be corralled by Porter. Aiden Porter with it. He loses it on the pass. Tries to collect it. It's in his feet. It's back across midfield. Anderson takes a hit as he tried to corral it, but Nichols will have it with Sandin. Sandin with the lone Vikings goal so far today, being forced out by Polisoto.
That was a great play right there by Aiden Cusack. He could have tried to lay a hit in midfield. He played solid defense, was able to knock that ball out of Porter's stick. So that's the way you're supposed to play defense.
Yeah, Sandin still has the ball here on the far side of the field. He's being double-teamed by Cusack and Polisoto right now. Now, of course, a man-down situation for the Vikings, and they have possession of the ball. St. Joe's up by 6, so I don't know if they really want to force the issue too much, but at the same time, certainly they would love to take advantage of this. Now he's free. Sandin's free. He doesn't take a shot, though. He resets and then kicks it back to the top of the formation for Zacher.
Yeah, they're going to try and waste as much time as possible. If there's a shot, they're going to take it.
Doesn't look like they have one yet. Nathan Byer has it on the near side of the field. Around behind the net. He's being forced out by Anderson and Cusack now. He tried to cut in front. Still not a lane. Quick pass. Right there. They have it. They shoot, and that one just goes wide. The shot was taken by Jimerson. And you mentioned Jimerson playing, probably laboring with an injury a little bit, but still in this game.
I wonder if there's something to that because he didn't have a lot on that shot right there. So he couldn't plant that knee when going down. That might have an issue with him.
Yeah, that's a good point. And we talked about safety, sort of long-term, wanting to make sure everybody stays healthy. Here, cutting in front of Sandin. He gets free, takes a shot, and scores. He works through a triple team. Does Mason Sandin, and they score in a man-down situation. Nichols has added a goal. It's now 7-2.
He once again, game against Canisius, and I was able to do that game on the broadcast, and he was very, very impressive. You see how crafty he is. He tucks that stick inside. He can split the double team, and he's able to get that in. So they get a shorthanded goal right now. They're still going to be shorthanded for another 47 seconds, but you got to be a little bit happy that you were able to thwart that and get a goal if you're Nichols.
Now, for St. Joe's, that is a very significant situation because instead of having a man-up situation and working that remaining 2 minutes and 40 seconds, now 2 minutes of that time has been taken up by Nichols. Now, they're checking the stick here of Sandin, and they're going to call it a good goal. They're not an illegal stick, checking, of course, the pocket to make sure it's not too deep, most likely.
Well, you know what? I bet you the St. Joe's coach was like, how did he get through that? Well, that's the type of player he is. He's a very, very special player and is very crafty around the net, and he knows how to hook that inside, plays box. You can see there's some box tendencies when they're playing there because you're playing in the tight quarters. So I could see why they would check the stick, but knowing, watching him play, that's just normal for him.
Yeah, and a great play there. That one is the latest in a series of highlight reel plays from both teams here. And, of course, getting possession off the draw is Porter now, but that one's going to be a loose ball and will be on the ground. So it will be given, as the whistle blows, the referees award possession now to the Nichols Vikings.
I think they're going to say there was a little push in the back there. We're going for it, nothing big, but just once again, they'll call the penalty. The referee's doing a great job trying to maintain control in this game right now.
Sandin faked the pass. He's got a lane now, trying to drive the net. He's still got it. He fires a shot and scores again. 3 goals in a row for Mason Sandin, and he cuts into the Marauders' lead. It's now 7-3 St. Joe's, but Nichols with the 2 latest goals, and they've got some momentum now.
Well, you know, they got the push off the face-off, so that's considered a face-off win. There's the win, so they get main possession, and then they get it into their playmaker. And you saw him once again, he split the defense, was able to get in there and get that shot off. So he, in the end, St. Joe's, a little concerned because you have this man up. You still got 32 seconds left, but you've given up 2 goals now. So here's the gaps closing instead of extending it like we talked about, which they were hoping to do.
Yeah, it's sort of ironic that that's happening because this is sort of the opposite of what you thought. A locked-in penalty, you have a man-down situation. St. Joe's, you'd think they'd have the advantage. I mean, Nichols might want to play in a man-down situation all night the way this is going. They've got 2 goals here in man-down situations, and they've got possession again off of another face-off with an opportunity to cut into the St. Joe's lead more.
There's the face-offs we've
Here's
been talking
Zacher.
about.
Zacher with a lane, and then he's forced out. He fires a spin shot. That one was a crafty play from Lawton Zacher. But that shot went wide, backed up by Sandin.
Now you got to be careful. He's being guarded right now by Palasoto. He can't take chances on him. You got to stay in front of him because he will be so quick if you try and close that gap with the body.
Palasoto waiting here.
They're going to wait. They're going to run the clock out. Now they're going to be even.
Back even. The Vikings. Sandin still with it. He's got a lane. He waits, and then he doesn't take a shot. That was LaForce. Or I'm sorry, not LaForce. He's
you went
not
back to
even on
Canisius.
either of these teams. Yeah, no, I'm sorry.
Latour.
That's Latour with the defense on him to force him out of the lane. Of
you
course,
got the law.
Yeah,
you got the law. We're okay with that.
Yeah, I apologize for that mistake. Now, Nichols still with it here. It's Byer. Byer driving wide on Anderson. Around behind the net with speed. Tried to feed it out in front, and taking it away was Bisonule. He fights off a check and then spins away. He's going to fire that pass back to Clark, who corrals it before giving it to Gallo. Gallo being pressured here by Hamdani. He gives it back to Clark. But Hamdani's going to try to catch him here. Clark's got to take it and run with it, and he bodies his way through a check at midfield. Anderson with a good play to stay back. Clark's still with it. Then he'll drop that away to Casada.
Good job.
St. Joe's with their first offensive possession here in quite a few minutes.
Nichols coming out in a little bit of his own ride right there, and it stymied that clear to a point where Clark had to take it himself across with the long pole.
So Tyler Smart with it on the far side now. Nichols with the momentum. Of course, we're back even after that 3-minute man-down situation where Nichols outscored the Marauders, actually, even though they had one less player on the field. St. Joe's trying to extend their lead again. They're up by 4 here. Vogel tries to drive. He's very physical. He fires a bounce shot and scores. He fired that one between the legs of Brock Jones, and the Marauders lead by 5 once more. It's now 8-3.
Well, you notice the lefty. He's a big boy. He had a shorty on him, so they were telling him to go. And he was able to get the step and did a beautiful bounce shot. He didn't just shoot it high. He shot from high to low, bounce shot right in between Brock Jones's legs. That's a great play right there.
Yeah, and we talked about on Monday how physical St. Francis is. St. Joe's is a very, I'll call them a finesse team. Not that they can't play physical, but leading in their physicality. Vogel really takes advantage of his size and sort of bullies his way to the net. You saw it there, and he rifled a shot through the legs of the goaltender to give the Marauders their first goal since quite a while ago earlier in this quarter. Now with it is Long for the Marauders, and a timeout's going to be called here by St. Joe's. The Marauders extend their lead, but not before the Vikings get a little bit of momentum. It's 8-3. We'll see who uses that momentum when we come back. This is high school lacrosse on Western New York Athletics.
Avoiding care can lead to worse problems. Don't delay care. We're here for you. Western New York Immediate Care provides quick, quality care for non-emergent injuries and illnesses. Go to WNYImmediatecare.com for more information.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics. Call our Buffalo office today for an efficient, personal approach for all of your transportation needs.
Vinny Cristiano, Tim Kenny bringing you the action here for the Monsignor Martin Boys Varsity Lacrosse Championship game between the St. Joe's Marauders, Nichols Vikings. The Marauders have a 5-goal lead right now, but we have seen the Vikings get a little bit of momentum back here, Tim, and I think now a timeout called by St. Joe's after they scored the most recent goal. Nichols certainly in a situation where they need to put more goals up on the scoreboard. How do you think they do that?
Well, I think once again they got to get control. Right now at the face-off X, they hold a two face-off lead. Mm-hmm. Right, so St. Joe's is doing a very good job of thwarting Porter, who is we talked about 73%. So I think that it starts there. They need to get control of that. Porter needs to kind of figure out what's going on and get him some pace, and then they just need to be very, very smart and patient and get it to their ball handlers. Get it to the players that can put the ball into the net, and we've seen right now that first one obviously is Sandin.
And another shot and another goal. Guess who? I'll give you a second. It's Tyler Smart. He adds his 4th of the game. It's now 9-3 Marauders, and they are back to firing on all cylinders on offense after they went quite a few minutes without much possession.
Yes. And you know what? That was a great play right there. Tyler found himself with Bigelow out now. Mm-hmm. Tyler could feast a little bit more. Bigelow was all over him, and they were double-teaming with Bigelow, so that was hard. There he was one-on-one, behind the cage, came around the left-hand side, easy step for him, and he was able to pump that goal right in.
We noticed that earlier in the season, St. Joe's Canisius was double-teaming Tyler Smart, and the Crusaders actually went to half with the lead in that regular season game. They switched their defensive coverage in the second half, and Tyler Smart adds a couple goals. Bounce shot there, saved by Gallo. That one's maybe an ill-advised shot. Gallo's going to work his way free here. He's going to fire a long pass towards midfield. Kashera fields it, long pass ahead, and then I don't think Cusack was ready for that one. That ball's loose. It will be picked up at midfield by Green. Green being pressured here. Kashera knocks that ball free, and that's an errant pass, and Gabe Kashera with another big play to give possession back to his team. Gabe Cusack alone in front is Casada. He steps, he fires, and he scores. James Casada adds another goal. That's his third of the game, and the freshman performing in a big game. They now have double digits, the Marauders do. It's 10-3 St. Joe's.
Well, here's that pace of play, Vinny, we were talking about right now. St. Joe's ramping it up. You know, this is not how Nichols wants to play. In fact, Porter got that face-off right there, and he came down, and that was an ill-advised shot, especially in a game like this where you were down 6, now you're down 7 because you took a bad shot. They were able to push it all the way back down and score. It's almost like a turnover in that situation.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and that shot wasn't even really on goal. Gallo made, I'll call it a save, but it was probably going to bounce over the net. Regardless, Kashera with a good play at midfield there as well, and now the Marauders have that momentum back. Certainly interesting how this game has gone. Another face-off win here for Porter. He sends a bounce pass, but that bounce pass gets away
Another turnover
from Hamdani, and another turnover for Nichols gives the ball back to St. Joe's. It's 9 turnovers today for the Marauders, although actually it looks like they're going to give possession back to Nichols here.
They're going to say it was tipped.
A tipped ball. That makes a little bit more sense. So maybe 8 turnovers, but regardless, Nichols with a chance. Zacher spins around. He waits, and he doesn't get a shot off. Good defensive play there by the Marauders. They kick it back. Not sure how he didn't get a chance there. It looked like he had a golden opportunity.
That was Brendan O'Brien. He did a heck of a job, really standing him up in the middle, not letting him follow through at all on the shot.
I can't believe he didn't get a shot off there. Lawton Zacher had the ball right in the slot, around behind the net now. Long pass ahead for Sandin. Sandin fires a shot. That one deflects off of Gallo's stick and wide. Just over 3 minutes to go here in this first half. Marauders up 10-3. Byer with it behind the net. He tries to scoot free. That ball popped free momentarily, but he'll try to get it back. It's a loose ball, and nobody has it yet. It's still free, but it'll be picked up by Zacher, and he'll work his way around behind the net before sending a pass to Jimerson. Jimerson sends it back to Zacher now.
St. Joe's opting to pressure at X behind the net. Sometimes coaches don't want it. They're putting the pressure behind there.
Sandin tried to work his way free. He fires a shot that's way wide, but it will be backed up there by Jimerson, and good defense from Sebastian Latour. I mean, he has been played fantastic despite even taking a hard hit earlier. It looks like he is playing very much like himself, and a good job defensively.
Yeah, he handled the spin and was able to really crack check down on that shot.
Jimerson lost it momentarily. Polosoto knocked it free, but Jimerson got it back, and Polosoto's going to work him towards the boundary. Not quite out of the field of play, though. Byer got it back. O'Brien looking at him. High pass in front, looking for Sandin. He spins, he waits, he fires and scores.
Oh, my.
His 4th goal of the game, and Sandin is putting on a clinic right now for the Vikings. If they could get him some help, they might be back in this game.
That was a fake and a half.
Yes,
it
was.
He took it down. He faked it completely. I'm not sure who was on defense. Faked him out, so he was wide open to get that left-handed shot. There was nothing Gallo can do on that one.
Yeah, that was a very good job from Mason Sandin, the sophomore attack for the Vikings. He has all 4 goals today for Nichols.
He's a player. He's matched his output versus Canisius already, and you're seeing when I was watching Jimerson when he had the ball there. He definitely hampered a little bit. He's not moving like he was in that game on Sunday because it's just you could see it, and so it's painful to watch. And you got to credit the kid for trying so much, but it is hard to watch a player of his caliber not be able to go at full speed.
Yeah, and we talked about earlier, sort of safety is one of the main concerns in games at all times, especially in championship games, but in games in general, you want to see the best players out on the field because you're seeing the best against the best. And today, we might not quite be seeing that. Might not be able to see that in full because of Jimerson's injury. The Marauders with a shot. That one deflects off the post from Smart. It'll be backed up here by Cusack, but a souvenir almost there for a fan in attendance tonight. We've got a packed house here at the Dembski. The Rowdies here in full force. Nichols bringing a good contingent from their own student section as well.
It's a great night for lacrosse.
Cusack with it. He waits. Quick pass down low. Casada couldn't get it. It was off the turf, and then that one will be picked up. Oh, I thought it was going to be picked up, but kicking it forward is Nichols, and then picked up by Charles Kent. Kent spins around. He still has it. He took a check from Roach, but he ducks free, and then that ball comes loose. Kashera trying to dig for it, and he couldn't get free, and then his stick was being held by Zacher, but I don't think the referees saw that. But regardless, it went off of Zacker's stick and off of his possession, I should say, and then out of bounds. So they'll give possession to St. Joe's. Gallo with it now. He's going to use his legs to work his way free. Send a pass ahead to Vogel. Vogel dodges the check. He works his way towards the net. Quick pass inside is Cusack. He stopped. He looked like he was going to try to drive the net, but he doesn't. He works his way back outside on the wing now, and he'll move that back up top to Levi Roost, who gives it to Aiden Cusack.
Looking at some of the Nichols players, they're looking a little gassed right now. They're playing a lot of defense and running up and down the field. This is where the numbers game might be going against them.
Under a minute till halftime. Cusack still with the ball. He takes another cross check. He falls, still has possession, and works his way away from Addison Zacher, I'm sorry, before Casada receives a pass. Casada with 3 goals today. The most recent St. Joe's goal. And he'll work his way behind the net. 30 seconds to go. Out in front. Cusack with it. He waits. Fires a shot. It goes off the goal post. Loose ball out just outside the crease here. And it is corralled by Addison Zacher and then fired all the way down the field. Looking for Sandin, but he's not able to get it now. A long pass from Gallo. Went all the way down the field, tried to, I guess, was targeting Smart, but that was behind even the Nichols net.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he knew how much time was up. I think he thought there was less time than there really was on the clock.
The scoreboard was just up to his right. He didn't take a look at it. In the pass, Smart couldn't corral it, but now a long pass ahead made by Nichols. Cody Bauer receives it, but it is non-consequential because we will go to halftime. 10-4 the score. Marauders up over the Vikings here early. Still 24 minutes left in this Monsignor Martin Catholic High School Athletic Association Boys Varsity Lacrosse Championship. We'll come back with the second half next.
When it's time to sell your home, start with a visit to howardhanna.com, ranked the #1 real estate site for sellers. A few clicks will show you the sales price you can expect for your home. We can get you the most money in the quickest amount of time because we know where the local buyers are and how to reach them. So if it's time to sell your home, visit howardhanna.com today, and we'll match you with a local Howard Hanna agent to sell your home fast.
I love being home.
If you've been injured in an auto accident, large or small, call 681-4088. RES Physical Medicine and Rehab right away. If you are in pain or just sore, don't take chances. Call RES today and take advantage of their 24 to 48-hour appointment pledge. With no copays, RES will help navigate the confusing world of no-fault insurance with you, so you can concentrate on getting better. 681-4088. RES Physical Medicine and Rehab. The most important call you can make after an auto accident.
Avoiding care can lead to worse problems. Don't delay care. We're here for you. Western New York Immediate Care provides quick, quality care for non-emergent injuries and illnesses. Go to WNYImmediatecare.com for more information.
300 Level Media is a locally owned and operated, multi-purpose media company right here in Western New York. You'll find us everywhere, covering the Bills, Sabres, Buttes, Bisons, Big Four basketball, local college sports, and much more. Our staff offers a variety of media services, from video production, live event coverage, audio broadcasts, professional voiceovers, camera operation, and videography. Visit www.300levelmedia.com or give us a call at 716-427-2600. This is 300 Level Media.
Sometimes it just isn't your day. We all need a little help from time to time. That's why we're committed to providing safe, quick, and cost-effective care. And we keep it simple. Just walk in. We're here for you. Learn more today.
You insure a lot of businesses?
Yes, we do.
How about restaurants?
We got a bunch.
Do you cover property damage?
Yes, we do.
How about my equipment?
Covered.
How about sewer backup?
We got it.
What if my cook gets hurt?
They're covered.
Foodborne illnesses?
Covered.
What if my party tent goes down?
Covered under property damage.
And you say this is all under one policy?
One policy.
When do I pay?
Once a month.
Just one time?
Just one.
Is there anything you don't cover?
What's your record for consecutive questions asked?
31.
Tables. We don't do tables.
Gotta love Buffalo.
For all your insurance questions, call the Wolf at 835-WOLF.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics. Call our Buffalo office today for an efficient, personal approach for all of your transportation needs.
I love being home.
There's nothing better than owning the perfect house to come home to. You've earned it, and we'll make it happen. Our local real estate experts and in-house team of financial professionals make buying or selling your home simple. Howard Hanna. Home happens here.
I love being home.
Life can be full of surprises, but not always the good kind. That's why we're committed to providing safe, quick, and cost-effective care, and we keep it simple. Just walk in. We're here for you. Learn more today.
We are at halftime between the St. Joe's Marauders and Nichols Vikings. Marauders up 10-4 right now, and we'll take a look at some of the highlights from half number one. And here is a beautiful goal from Mason Sandin, and he has all 4 Vikings goals so far today. They, of course, only have 4. As we look at some of the other highlights here, a great game so far offensively from the Marauders. Vinny Cristiano, Tim Kenny with you, bringing the broadcast. And Tim, I mean, talk about how lethal this Marauders offense has been as we see some of their highlights from this first half.
Well, you know, it's not just Tyler Smart. So you saw at the beginning of the half, they were double teaming. He was getting the assists and passing it around. Now, as Nichols figured out, all right, we got to stop other people too because it's going to get away from that's leaving Tyler one-on-one. So he's able to now do what he can do. And that snipe from that side with his left hand is deadly. He could get it on there, and even if it's just off a little bit, there's always a backup. So that's a huge weapon for St. Joe's right now.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And we see another couple of goals here. Gabe Cusack opened the scoring for the Marauders. He has 2. Tyler Smart has 4. James Casada, like you mentioned, he's got a couple today. He has 3. And early in this game, Nichols was double-teaming Smart. They haven't done that so far, sort of this second half. And
Once again, you just saw right there, that's Sandin. And we've been talking about him. He's a special player. He's very, very slippery. Knows how to get inside. That one was a beautiful fake and a left-hand shot. Nichols is going to need a lot more of that if they want to stay in this game.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And there's another goal from Casada. Like I mentioned, he's got 3 earlier. Smart was setting him up because all the attention was focused on Tyler Smart. Instead, now Smart seeing a lot of one-on-one matchups, and we take a look at some of these stats here. Of course, shots on goal in favor of the Marauders, 14-8. Face-offs are in favor of Nichols, but you said the word muddying it up at that midfield area. Nichols has the advantage, but St. Joe's is getting a lot of the turnovers after possession has been established by Nichols, and then saves in favor of the Marauders, 8-4. And, I mean, that might be one of the most underappreciated parts of this game. Evan Gallo has made some highlight reel saves that, I mean, if he could get a poster of that diving save, him diving across the crease, and I'm sure he would, and he would hang it everywhere because that was one of the most impressive saves in lacrosse or any sport I think I've ever seen.
I can't wait to watch the replay of this because, of course, we'll have to criticize the way we do the broadcast. But just to be able to see that save because in real time, it was amazing because he just jumped from the right side of the cage to the left, and he was almost parallel. I got to remember my geometry. Parallel to the goal. I'm like, wow. He had it, and he stopped Sandin from getting another goal.
Yeah, I mean, he was parallel, perpendicular, everything all at once. And that at the time, this game there was no goals scored by Nichols at the time, so he maintained a shutout with that save. I mean, you mentioned sort of going back and watching this game on replay. all the players watch film. Us broadcasters also watch film at times to see how we could get better. I know I do that a lot, but that call, I don't know if any words could describe how miraculous that save was. And, of course, Gallo will get back in the crease here for the Marauders as we get ready for the second half.
And once again, he's got 8 saves, and that was one of them. But some of the others while he might make him look a little pedestrian, they were really good saves. The low shots coming down, he was seeing it. He hit one off of his shaft. He did a lot of good things. So on the defensive end right now, he's making up for some of the shortfalls that are happening on the defensive end with St. Joe's. That's where I guarantee you Coach Rudecki is going to be talking about in the second half is, hey, we can't let Sandin go off. We can't do that. Jimerson, as we said, might be kind of hobbled a little bit, so maybe you help off of him, but I think you'll see some of those defensive switches you're going to see in the second half from St. Joe's, because that's really the glaring thing that stood out right now, and that's what's kept Nichols in this game is the play of Sandin.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And they are only down by 6 here as we get ready, just under 60 seconds till we start half number 2. He has all 4 of their goals, and I think we saw it on Monday. St. Joe's got off to a hot start against St. Francis. Nichols got off to a hot start against Canisius. Nichols controlled that game the entire time. St. Francis actually outscored St. Joe's in the second half. They scored 7 goals in the second half of that game. Now, albeit one of them was literally right at the buzzer, but it counted to make it 10-8. St. Joe's went to half in that game up 8-1. They only scored 2 goals in the second half. I think if Nichols holds St. Joe's to only 2 goals in this second half, it's not out of the question that they're able to bury 8 and then bring this game back tied. So if you're the Marauders, you need to dial back in and play smart defensively.
Yeah, it's going to start once again at the X, at the face-off X. Right now, you got to look at it. Porter, he's got a lot of weight on his shoulders. We said they're up 9-6 in the battle, but he's a 73%, so they're used to him being higher on that.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to look at that. And the other thing you look at is the turnovers right now. Nichols got 10. All right, so that's kind of on par with what happened the other day. They had 20, so if you had 10 in the first half, 10 in the second half. St. Joe's got 7, so they've kept it down a little bit. They've done a much better job keeping control of the ball.
Yeah, you mentioned Porter at the X. After Monday, he was actually up to 78% on the season, so he is down quite a bit from his normal percentages. Still, though, with an advantage. We'll see how we do here as we start half number 2. Young Bluth in the circle for the Marauders. That one looked like he was going to try to get it to Latour. It bounces free, and Lasky will get possession for the Marauders, and they get possession here. Lasky's got speed, though. Lasky, quick pass, Casada. He fires a shot through a screen, and it looked like maybe that had been blocked by Jack Green.
Yeah, it looked like it went a little trajectory that kind of change going on there, but that's a great play. You want to keep the pressure on if you're St. Joe's. You're faster, and you have the numbers. It's going back to that numbers game now. Can Nichols with the shorter bench now with Bigelow out keep up with this pace?
Yeah, and that's a big storyline in this game as the Marauders send a pass out front to Roost. He fires a shot, save made there by Jones. It bounces free. Ball's still loose. Trying to pick it up is Brunton. Ball's on the ground. We've got 7 players in that circle digging for it.
You got a clamp.
And a clamp will be called, so the Marauders maintain possession. But as I was mentioning, if you're just joining us here, again, Vinny Cristiano, Tim Kenny on the call here of the Monsignor Martin Championship game for boys varsity lacrosse. Andrew Bigelow, 2 cross-checks, head contact involved in both. He has been ejected from this game, so one of their bigger long poles, who was on Tyler Smart for most of the game, not here for most of the second quarter and all of the second half. So the Marauders could take advantage of that offensively.
Nichols still pushing out. They're still pushing out. They're not settling back there and trying to conserve energy. They're trying to force the tempo on the defensive end.
Marauders going left to right here in this second half to start. Because again, in their white uniforms, Nichols in the green. Trying to cut in front of the Marauders. Roost couldn't quite clear that. And another check to the head. And that one's Gabe Cusack who's down. And multiple flags fly on that one. And he is in a lot of pain down behind the Nichols net. And Tyler Smart is motioning for Vicky Samula, the trainer from the Marauders, to head over there, and that is not a good sign for the Marauders.
That was a cross-check right there by Addison Zacher. Once again, I believe it was to the head because it was on that far side, but another dangerous play right now. And if you're the referees, you're going to go over to both coaches and say, this happens anymore. More people are going to get ejected. That's the only way they're going to keep control of that.
Yeah, so this will be a short break here as we check on the St. Joe's Junior, and we will go to break. Marauders up 10-4 here. They will have possession and likely a man-up situation when we come back. This is boys varsity lacrosse, the Monsignor Martin Championship on Western New York Athletics.
When you're ready to buy a home, start with a visit to howardhanna.com. You can find new listings before they appear anywhere else and refine your search for immediate notifications of similar properties. Plus, get pre-qualified to make your offer stronger and connect with a local Howard Hanna agent who knows your area and how to close the deal. So when you're ready to buy, visit howardhanna.com and find your home fast.
I love being home.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics. Call our Buffalo office today for an efficient, personal approach for all of your transportation needs.
As we come back to the Monsignor Martin Boys Varsity Lacrosse Championship game here from the Dembski Sports Complex, the home of the Canisius College Golden Griffins. This game between the St. Joe's Marauders and Nichols Vikings. The Marauders have a 10-4 lead right now. We're about a minute and 20 seconds into half number 2 and quarter number 3 along with it. Right now, a pause in game action as we are currently checking on the health of St. Joe's attackman Gabe Cusack, who took a hit to the head a few minutes ago. He's able to be helped up here and seemingly walking under his own power a little bit back to the sidelines, but definitely feeling a little worse for wear after that one. And that check to the head you mentioned, Tim, is the third time that's happened today. Nichols, of course, already had Andrew Bigelow ejected from this game, and it looked like Addison Zacher got him up high there. And we're going to have another penalty here assessed to Nichols as
looks like they're going to go. It might be a 2-minute locked in, unreleasable with that. And I'm not sure what the reasoning is. And Kuzak's getting the crowd going. But you know what? He's got to be careful. That was a scary situation once again.
Yeah.
Any shots to the head are very, very dangerous.
And you saw that he was in clearly a lot of pain after that one. We've seen Aiden Cusack take a shot up high now. His brother Gabe. And, of course, Sebastian Latour as well.
Yes.
And then that was the hit that got Bigelow ejected. This one, not an ejection. This is the first infraction, first penalty of the day for Addison Zacher. But this one going to be a 2-minute penalty for the Vikings, and they'll go down here in a man-down situation.
So, once again, now if you're St. Joe's, you're up 10-4. You've got this opportunity once again. Last time they had this, they gave up 2 shorthanded goals, so they want to make sure they get a good shot here and put one in to help extend their lead.
And now a pass goes astray, but that's picked up by Joaquin Gatt. First time we've said his name today. He hasn't been in the offensive formation a lot. He is the third highest goal scorer on this Marauder squad. So getting back in the action here. And a look here for Casada. He had a lot of time. He fires a shot right into the waiting stick of Brock Jones. And I think he maybe overthought that one. He had so much space. I don't think he expected to. And then as he tried to aim his shot, that one went right into the stick of the goalkeeper. Now Nichols trying to break free. Crossing towards midfield is Jack Green, and he still has possession for the Vikings. But that one's not free. Gatt tried to pick it up, and then a whistle is blown. They're going to have a push.
They're going to say a push in the back, not with possession in a sense, because it wasn't from that standpoint. So clean defensive play, but it was a penalty.
Sandin with it now on the far side for the Vikings. 2 of those shorthanded goals that were scored by Nichols on a 3-minute man-down situation. Sandin scored both of them in quick succession, and they worked out 2 minutes of that 3-minute time in St. Joe's territory. It looks like they're doing the same thing here again. St. Joe's not able to capitalize, and now 45 seconds left to go in the man-down situation, and they're just going to let him go. It looks like Paulo Soto not pressing the issue, and I think the Marauders maybe learned their lesson, not give him an opportunity to try to cut to that. They're just going to keep him outside.
Yeah, he's so crafty. We've said it already. Splitting the double team, that you're better off just playing position defense. If they run out the clock, they run out the clock. That's okay. You just don't want to give up another shorthanded goal if you're St. Joe's.
We mentioned it a couple of times, no shot clock in high school lacrosse. So there is no limit on how long you can hold the ball. If you can hold it for the entire 12-minute quarter, good luck. But if you can do it, you can do it. But Nichols now, with just 5 seconds to go in the man-down situation, work the ball back up to Lawton Zacher, and it looks like now they're going to go back on the attack and try and bury their 5th goal of the contest. So St. Joe's unable to capitalize on the 2-minute man advantage situation.
You know, it was interesting. The Canisius game, as the game rolled on, Lawton Zacher was the one who kind of gained more speed and was able to figure out and get some goals thrown in there. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him trying to get some things going from Nichols on the offensive end to take a little bit of the pressure off of Sandin, which you know everybody's looking at when he has the ball.
Byer with it right now for the Vikings. He works around his defender momentarily. That's Luca Race, but he'll move it back up top to Zacher. He'll get it back again, Byer will. Doesn't have a lane to shoot yet. He's going to try and find one now as he works on Race, but he kicks himself back outside and will go around behind the Marauder net as he continues looking for an outlet. He moves that back up top to Zacher once more, who's going to give it back to Byer again on the near side.
Palisotto is guarding.
He cuts in, he waits, he fires a shot. That one just goes wide of the net and will bounce out of play, backed up by Nichols.
Palisotto right now is guarding Sandin and trying to lock him off. He's jumping out into that passing lane just so he won't get the ball.
Palisotto, one of the better defenders on this Marauder team, definitely in man-to-man coverage against the most lethal goal scorer for the Vikings, but now trying to work his way in front of Jimerson. He sends a pass, Zacher with it. He fires a low shot and scores! Lawton Zacher with his first of the game, and they've now cut in halfway to the St. Joe's lead. It's 10-5 the score. And that's the first goal for the Vikings not scored by Mason Sandin.
Yeah, as I was just talking about before, I sound like I'm clairvoyant here, but he had not gotten a good look yet. He got one shot off and was kind of checked a little bit. So he's a senior. He's a leader. He's a strong kid who can finish, and you knew he was going to get some opportunities. And right there, he had the shot from the point and was able to put it right through.
A low shot there through the legs of Evan Gallo. Still battling for it at midfield. O'Brien's going to dig the loose ball up. He gets checked again. He spins away from one.
Zacher almost got him up high again.
Yeah, he did. That would have been the second cross-check from Addison Zacher. Now Lasky with some, I say time. He doesn't really have a lot of time. He makes a man miss, though, and moves it back to Vogel, who sends a pass to Tyler Smart, who catches it off the ground, and he makes a motion now. Calm everything down. Work this clock here. We're only in the third quarter, but the Marauders up by 5. And St. Joe's looking to add another goal. Tyler Smart looked to use Roost as a screen. Looks like they maybe had a miscommunication there. He works his way around a defender and around behind the net. He's being pressured pretty heavily here by Charles Kent.
Good defense by Kent.
And the switch there puts Franziak on him. Now Casada has it. He tried to tuck one in, and that one, I think, went behind the net.
I think so. It was hard to tell from this angle.
Either way, it didn't go in. Willard Pottle sent a pass. Now right on front of bounce shot doesn't go in. Vogel had an opportunity there for a second of the game. That one's free. Smart has it, and they're going to blow the play dead, and they will give possession to the Nichols Vikings.
Yeah, they're going to call a push without possession.
So across midfield goes Jack Green.
Jack Green has. I'm trying to remember a time he hasn't come off the field as in a midfield.
He's
back and forth.
I don't think he has.
Yeah,
to be
it
honest
is quite
with you.
impressive right now, but he's got to be feeling a little bit now in the legs.
Yeah, we talked about the short bench here for the Vikings. Now only 6 players available to them with Bigelow out.
Once again, watching this battle between Palisotto and Sandin is interesting.
And that ball went back towards midfield on an errant pass, but a good play at midfield momentarily by Brunton, but instead they're going to give possession back to the Marauders on that one. Pass to Casada. Casada being cross-checked there, and now the flag flies. Addison Zacher is going to get another cross-check there. That was pretty easy to tell that was a cross-check. I mean, Casada was running away from him, and he extends the arms there for the cross-check, and that will be his second penalty of the game.
Yeah, I think you're seeing a little bit of frustration now coming from the Nichols players on the defensive end. Those are plays that if you're a coach, you can't. You just look and say, why? The number, you saw the back, you pushed on them, why? Just try and run and catch up, play position defense, but so many times they want to try and get that check, the defender. And really, you're playing great defense if you just run alongside and just keep them on the outside.
30 seconds, man advantage here for the Marauders. Gatt gets it on the far side. He's being forced there by Bauer. He's trying to spin away from him. Bauer knocks it free. Nichols done a fantastic job in man-down situations, and Bauer's going to cross midfield. He's got some room here. He might take it. And then he's going to work his way around behind the net, still looking for an outlet, and he'll find one, but that pass will go over the head, and they're going to call offsides here on the Vikings.
Yeah, I think trying to look and see, the play was developing very slowly, but quickly, if it makes sense. It was kind of coming down, but on this up close side of the field to us, one of the players didn't realize what was happening, and he stepped over out of bounds, and that's why you have a referee down by the table here for this game. He's able to watch that offsides line a lot closer than normal.
Exactly. So the Marauders now no longer in a man-up situation, which for them seems to be an advantage somehow. You'd think a man advantage would be an advantage. It has not been for St. Joe's. Nichols has dominated play when they have one less player on the field. Lasky looks to drive there. He thinks better of it, moves it to Casada on the near side of the field. He'll work his way around behind the net. Tyler Smart released from his screen to try and offer himself as an option to pass to. That's not available to Casada right now, but Casada will find Evan Lasky with it, who moves it to Levi Roost. Roost over to Aiden Cusack on the far side of the field. Cusack working his way around behind the net. He spins around, then sends a pass to Roost. Not a lot of shooting lanes lately for the Marauders. Good defense by the Vikings. St. Joe's trying to find an outlet. They find Casada here.
But you got a shorty right now. Smart's got a shorty, so they're trying to get him the ball, but you got to credit Jack Green. He's doing a great job really staying on top of Smart.
They did get Tyler Smart the ball, but he's right at the boundary here. And Jack Green's going to give him that space because he can't really hurt them from down there, at least for now. Now he looks to drive to the net. He tries to find an outlet. He couldn't find Willard Pottle in front of the net, and that one bounces free. Lawton Zacher has it, and he's going to bury his head and cross midfield.
This is where he's dangerous because he's so strong. But I think they're going to kind of pull it out.
Zacher, that one's knocked free by Kashera. Goes towards the boundary. Zacher's able to pick up the loose ball, though. And a timeout's going to be called by the Vikings so they can establish some sort of attack system here and set something up for their offense. We will set up a break, and we will come back in just a few moments. This is the Monsignor Martin Championship on Western New York Athletics.
Avoiding care can lead to worse problems. Don't delay care. We're here for you. Western New York Immediate Care provides quick, quality care for non-emergent injuries and illnesses. Go to WNYImmediatecare.com for more information.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics. Call our Buffalo office today for an efficient, personal approach for all of your transportation needs.
We're back with you. Vinny Cristiano, Tim Kenny bringing the action here for the Monsignor Martin Boys Varsity Lacrosse Championship from the Dembski Sports Complex, home of the Canisius College Golden Griffins in downtown Buffalo. We've got a good game brewing here. 10-5 the score. Marauders with the advantage, but Nichols has had the momentum and the pressure as of late. We've only seen one goal in the second half so far. Still 3:16 left in the third quarter to change that. Vikings have possession here after the timeout from the green and white.
And we mentioned this coming out of halftime, the adjustment St. Joe's was going to try and make to slow down Sandin. So Palasoto right now he's got the assignment, but they really, when the ball gets out of his hands, they're trying to just lock him off so he doesn't get it.
Sandin had the ball momentarily, but he'll send a pass up top to Byer. Byer makes a move on O'Brien to try and clear himself. O'Brien stays with him at least momentarily. Now Byer has some room, but he doesn't have a lane to shoot, and he'll have to reset back to the top of the formation here. And he'll send a pass down low to Jimerson. Jimerson on Biesignol here. He tries to cut. He's got a lane. He fires a high shot. That went over the net. There to back it up is Bilal Hamdani.
You see the threat that he is. And once again, making an assumption that knee might probably is a little bit, sore from the other game where he had to leave the game, but he still has those moves. And if he gets dialed in on that shot, that's a dangerous shot right there.
Getting free for a moment, right out in front, trying to fire a shot. They couldn't get it to go. Ball's loose, picked up by Kashera, and the Marauders going to try to cross midfield. Kashera's got to stop, though. He's double-teamed. Sends a high pass for Anderson, and he gets cleaned out after the play. St. Joe's on the attack, though, with Deion Anderson. They send a pass to Aiden Cusack. Coach Hideki giving the referee an earful after that one. Tyler Smart with the ball here, and
he's trying to talk about that. That was well after the play was done. That shouldn't have happened there. A lot of times it's bang, bang, and it's hard for the referee to ascertain.
Smart had a lane. It looked like he got by Zacher, but he's now behind the net with it, trying to look for an outlet. He cuts. He has a shot. Oh, and he missed by maybe inches on that one. That's his spot there, the lefty. He can fire it from anywhere.
It's a thing of beauty because he gets it off so quickly. That's the thing about it. It's not just the power on the shot, but the quickness when he gets that little half a step that he could get that shot off and sometimes surprises the goalie.
Lasky with it now for the Marauders. Motions Casada, but he still has it around behind the net. 90 seconds remaining in quarter number 3. Marauders still up 10-5. Looking to add another one here. They have the only goal of this third quarter. They'd love to add another one. Lasky still has it. He was double-teamed. Tried to find Cusack, who was alone, but he couldn't get the pass. Picked up by Smart. There's there on insurance. Now he finds Cusack. He spins around to check, but he's double-teamed, and he doesn't have anywhere to go with it. Now he'll reset. Smart was open. The bench was clamoring for him to get it to him, but he didn't. Casada has it now.
He's got a shorty on him again. That's why they want him to have it.
Casada tried to drive. He jumps up, and he gets checked as he takes a shot. That one missed. Roost is there to back it up, though, for the Marauders. So the Maroon and White maintain possession here. Under a minute left to go in quarter number 3.
That was a nifty little move right there by Casada, dipping inside and getting the left-handed shot down there and just went a little bit wide.
High pass. Lasky's able to corral it. Sends it to Casada. Casada looks to drive, switches and sends it to Lasky. Lasky couldn't corral the pass. It's going to be picked up momentarily by Bauer, but a loose ball there. He sends a pass back to the goaltender, Jones. Nichols trying to clear it out, and now Lawton Zacher has it. He gets by Casada and also gets by Gatt and works his way into St. Joe's territory under 30 seconds to go. Zacher looks to drive. He's being pressured by Cusack. Doesn't have a lane yet. He tried to find one, but he couldn't. He spins around now. Around behind the net, still with it is Zacher. He fakes a pass. Under 15 to go. Zacher then knocked free by Bissignola. The ball's on the ground. And then that one's going to go free, and a whistle goes, and we're going to have a hold, and possession will go to the Marauders. And a great defensive play there from the sophomore Evan Bissignola. Long past the far side of the field for Liam Clark, and he will hold it to end quarter number 3. So in the first half, we had a combined 14 goals. In the third quarter, we just had 1. Lawton Zacher makes it 10-5. St. Joe's held scoreless in the third quarter. Nichols down by 5, 12 minutes to try to tie this thing up. We'll go to break. We'll be back with the fourth quarter of Monsignor Martin Boys Varsity Lacrosse Championship Lacrosse right here on Western New York Athletics.
When you're ready to buy a home, start with a visit to howardhanna.com. You can find new listings before they appear anywhere else and refine your search for immediate notifications of similar properties. Plus, get pre-qualified to make your offer stronger and connect with a local Howard Hanna agent who knows your area and how to close the deal. So when you're ready to buy, visit howardhanna.com and find your home fast.
I love being home.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics. Call our Buffalo office today for an efficient, personal approach for all of your transportation needs.
Even the most prepared moms experience the unexpected. When you do, we're here for you. Western New York Immediate Care provides quick, quality care for non-emergent injuries and illnesses. Go to WNYImmediatecare.com for more information.
12 minutes left to decide the champion, St. Joe's and Nichols. Right now, here at the Debski Sports Complex, this is the Monsignor Martin Catholic High School Athletic Association Boys Varsity Lacrosse Championship game. The Marauders beat St. Francis on Sunday. To get here, the Nichols Vikings defeated the Canisius Crusaders. Vinny Cristiano, Tim Kenny bringing you the call here. 12 minutes left. The Marauders going for their 6th straight Monsignor Martin championship. The Vikings hoping for their first championship since 2005, their first Monsignor Martin championship ever. They did make the finals in 2015 and 2018, where they lost. Tim, they got to score 5 goals here in 12 minutes. What do they need to do that to try to tie this game up and eventually hopefully take the lead?
They got to get possession first and foremost, and it starts with the face-off. And right there, they got to push, and they lost the possession on it. So that's a hard part to start right out. But it's real going to be possessions now. How many possessions can they get, and how many times can they get down and get a quality shot? That's the key for Nichols to get back into this right now.
Nichols lost possession off the face-off. St. Joe's then turned it over. A good defensive play from Addison Zacher. Now 30 seconds into quarter number 4. Nichols with an opportunity to go in on offense here. They were the only team that scored a goal in that third quarter. Lawton Zacher had one. Marauders did not score in quarter number 3, reminiscent of their game against St. Francis on Sunday, where the Red Raiders outscored the Marauders 7-2 in the second half.
It's something Coach Hudecki was concerned about because he was not sure what he could put we couldn't put your finger on why. Yeah. And I told him the same thing after our game. I said, I don't know why, and I called it. It's hard to tell. It just kind of just went stagnant on him.
Nathan Byer with it behind the net. He's going to look to unload one, and he scores! Nathan Byer with a shot through traffic, and Gallo couldn't get it, and it's now 10-6. The Vikings score one just 1 minute and 6 seconds into quarter number 4.
Well, there is where you're talking, where all the energy and the focus is going on a Sandin or a Jimerson, all right, or a Zacher. That's what Nichols needs, is somebody else to step up and make a play. And right there, Byer Nathan came around from behind X on the right-hand side and just did a little jump shot, and it caught it caught the goalie off guard.
Yeah.
It caught Gallo off guard a little bit there because he didn't think he was going to shoot that, I don't think.
Yeah, so now a 4-goal deficit for the Vikings. They've scored 3 in a row now.
Be careful if they get on a roll with the face-off. We're going to have ourselves a game here.
The Marauders led as much as 7-1 and then 10-3 in the first half. And now they have another possession off the face-off with Porter. They'll kick that back to the top of the formation with Addison Zacher, and he's going to let some substitutions happen here as he loses it in transition there. That ball's on the ground. Everybody clamoring for it. It pops free. Still on the ground. Trying to vie for it as it's still on the ground in the feet of almost everybody in the offensive side of the field. Clark backs off to play defense. He was the only one that really did so, but Lawton Zacher emerges with possession for the Vikings. And they're going to try to narrow this deficit to 3, which it has not been since the first quarter.
That was good gang ground balling by Nichols right there. Just continually go. Kick that ball out, try and get that going there. That was a good play for them because it averted a turnover, which they already have 14 now on this in the game.
Lawton Zacher got the ground ball there. He's third on this team in ground balls. That pass finds him at the top of the formation. He'll move that to the far side for Sandin.
Palasoto with the assignment once again, guarding Sandin.
Sandin looks to work on him now. He drives wide. He stops. Palasoto still tight on him, and out goes behind the net for Jimerson. Jimerson worked his way out front. He's got Deion Anderson on him. Still has the ball. He waits. He fires a shot. That one missed just wide.
That was a nice play by Jimerson right there. He held on. He kept that stick tucked and then was able to come up and come straight down with that shot. Just went a little bit wide.
Nichols still with possession here. That's Byer with it behind the net. He looks to work his way around front. He sends a pass to Zacher. Zacher unloads one. Kick save by Gallo. That goes towards the boundary, but it's backed up by Nichols. Cusack still vying for it with him.
And I think St. Joe's is probably happy that they got a save here, even if it was a heck of a quality shot. because it gets Gallo back in the flow of getting a touch again. Now he's back into it, where he's kind of was dormant for a little bit because a lot of shots weren't on him.
Paulo Soto knocks over his man, and they're digging for it on the ground. Now a flag comes down. Still free with it is Sandin. He fires a shot that goes over the net, not a play. So it looks like we're going to have a penalty here on, I believe it's going to be on Paulo Soto.
I think they're going to call a slash when he was down. When the player went down, he kind of came down a little bit there, and sometimes that aggressiveness, the ref is going to call a slashing penalty.
So it'll be a 1-minute penalty for Alex Paulo Soto.
And Paulo Soto's trying to plead his case that I hit the stick. Doesn't matter.
Unfortunately, it does not matter. He finds himself in the box here. Now the Vikings with a man advantage situation for them. Let's see if they're as effective with an extra man as they were a man down.
Yeah, this possession is critical right now if they want to continue to claw back in this game.
Zach exchanging the ball with Hamdani. Getting it back again is Byer. Byer sending it to Zacher. Zacher on the near side. With it was Hamdani now. He sends it behind the net for Sandin. Finds Jimerson right out front. Firing a shot is Zacher, and that one went wide.
That was a quick release, too. You know, Gallo saw it at the last minute, but the shot went wide. But that was a really quick release, and that's what you want. If it's backed up, keep doing it. You want to keep shooting if you're Nichols, because the more you shoot, the more chances you get as a goal.
Of course. Gallo only with no saves in the third quarter. Only one shot for Nichols. That shot was a goal. They do have a goal here in the fourth quarter. They're looking to add another. Zacher moves it to the near side. That's Hamdani. Hamdani around behind the net.
Hamdani's been quiet. He had 4 goals the last game, so look out for him as well.
Zacher looked like he was going to shoot. Now he sends one close to the net. That one bounces free. Gallo steps out to make the save, sends a long pass towards midfield. Kashera couldn't quite field it. Anderson's there. That ball's free, and Kashera knocks the ball loose again, and now we're going to have some extracurriculars at midfield. Lawton Zacher got in there. A flag flies, and look at Pete Hideki there talking to Sebastian Latour. And we got 2 flags on the field, and Latour looks like he might get a penalty here.
Yeah, I think they're probably going to even this thing out in the end. A little tempers flared. There was a little bit of a slash. I think that was missed coming down the field there by one of the St. Joe's players. Lawton Zacher turned around, took an exception to that, and that started a little bit of the back and forth scrum here, and I think the refs will probably even this out a little bit.
As Paulo Soto fires up the crowd here, and you see head coach Pete Hideki is in his ear right now.
I don't think he wants him doing that. He wants him to calm down and very focus on this, because there's still a lot of lacrosse left, and they're only up 4.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, we saw it on Sunday. And here we go. We have the penalty calls now.
So remember now, St. Joe's was already down 1.
Yeah, and now I'm wondering, I think Paulo Soto's penalty may have expired.
Did it expire?
I think it may have expired. Nichols had possession here with just over 30 seconds left in that penalty. I think maybe it looks as though the Marauders, though, might actually be down a man again.
I would have to assume there's going to be on both sides here.
I think they may have called
yes, they did.
2 penalties on St. Joe's, or possibly not. I'm sort of trying to work out the personnel here. So it's Lawton Zacher taking a knee in the box for the Vikings. It's Sebastian Latour taking a knee in the box for the Marauders.
That's a good job by the referees. It wasn't more one-sided than the other. You know what? They're setting the tone, saying, all right, get in the box. You'll play 5-on-5 now.
Yeah, this game, of course, this game signals the end of the season for one of these teams. So certainly that comes with a lot of emotions for players on both sides of that. And certainly emotionally, this could get out of hand. A nice play there from Nichols as they have possession now. Waiting, firing a shot, and a great save there by Gallo. Second save of this quarter. Sends a pass ahead to Kashera. Kashera is going to wheel his way across midfield. So we do have 1 penalty on each side. Kashera waits. Kashera, quick pass. I thought he was going to shoot it. He tried to send a pass to Gatt, and that went over his stick. I think Gatt may have also thought he was going to shoot that one. He tried to collapse to the net.
He should have. He had it. Let the big dog eat. Come on. Let the big stick eat every now and then. Why not?
So Nichols has possession again. With it momentarily was Jones. He sends a pass to Byer. Byer has the most recent Nichols goal. Far side, Jimerson has it. Jimerson with Kashera on him. He gets by him, though. Jimerson's got a little bit of space. Jimerson waits. Quick pass out front. Sandin with a shot. That went off the side of the net and wide. Diving for it is Gallo, but they're going to say that it was backed up instead by Hamdani.
Yeah, Hamdani was there. That was a good play. Boy, what a shot right there. And I think St. Joe's got away with one. You can't let Sandin be that wide open up at the top.
Now Hamdani with an opportunity. He didn't take a shot. He'll move that back up top to Jack Green. Green, I think, did get a little bit of time off there, which we didn't think he had much of earlier. Not in a position to shoot, though. Only one hand on his stick, and he'll work his way behind the net with Deion Anderson still on him. He spins around. Green trying to find an outlet here. Now switched Biesignol playing defense on Green, and he'll send a pass to the far side for Jimerson.
Palasoto is still face guarding Sandin right now.
Jimerson now. Quick pass. All alone. Green waits. Green fires and scores. A great look there from Jimerson to find Jack Green all alone right outside the crease. And that's the fourth goal in a row for Nichols. They now trail by only 3, not quite halfway through quarter number 4.
Well, you got to feel good for Jack Green. He has been all over the place on this field. And for him to be able to be open down there and get that goal, and he's worked his tail off.
He really has. The effort today has definitely been there for Jack Green. Some teams give out a hard hat for the effort, and he's certainly worthy of earning that award today. He has worked very hard on both sides of the ball. And again, the Marauders have been held scoreless here in the second half. Ball's loose. Nichols picks it up. They have it with Zacher. Addison Zacher fires a low shot, and a save made by Gallo. That was a tough one.
Baby.
And that would have been a huge goal for the Vikings. And it looks like it's going to be a turnover here. The pass is errant from Gallo, and Lawton Zacher has it now.
That's the third of this quarter for St. Joe's right now to none for Nichols.
Yeah, I mean, the Marauders certainly have lacked offense here in the second half. The Vikings have found it. On the far side of the field now, Sandin. Back up top, it's Nathan Byer. 5 minutes and 30 seconds left to go in quarter number 4. Nichols trails by only 3 now.
Nichols, they've got to be very happy that other people are getting in the scoring column right now. You know, St. Joe's, rightfully so, is really trying to focus on Sandin.
Zacher with a shot. That one deflected, I think, off the stick of Gallo. I think we're going to give him a save on that one.
We'll give him the save. We'll put it in the book.
But we'll maintain possession with Nichols for McKay Jimerson. And we're going to have a timeout here called by St. Joe's. The Marauders certainly need to set something up here. They have lacked momentum. The Vikings have all of it. We'll see. They have 5 minutes left to come back in this one. You are watching high school lacrosse on Western New York Athletics.
When you're ready to buy a home, start with a visit to howardhanna.com. You can find new listings before they appear anywhere else and refine your search for immediate notifications of similar properties. Plus, get pre-qualified to make your offer stronger and connect with a local Howard Hanna agent who knows your area and how to close the deal. So when you're ready to buy, visit howardhanna.com and find your home fast.
I love being home.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics. Call our Buffalo office today for an efficient, personal approach for all of your transportation needs.
And we are back at the Dembski Sports Complex between the St. Joe's Marauders and the Nichols Vikings. The Marauders called a timeout here to reset themselves defensively. And we've got quite the game left. 5 minutes, 3 seconds left in quarter number 4. Vinny Cristiano, Tim Kenny with you here today. And boy, Tim, this game looked like it might have gotten out of hand early. The Marauders, again, led by as much as 6 and then led by 7. But Nichols has clawed back, and they have the momentum. They're only down by 3.
That's pretty much a carbon copy of what happened with St. Joe's against St. Francis. And one of the things you can see here is face-offs. It's 2-1 in this quarter. That's fine. That's close enough. But the turnovers. St. Joe's has 3, Nichols has none, and that's why you're seeing these shots. They're not getting as many shots and possessions. We talked about the number of possessions you want to keep doing. Nichols is doing what they need to do to get back in this game.
Over 7 minutes into this fourth quarter, the Marauders do not yet have a shot in the final frame of play here. The Vikings have only added. They work to add another one. That's Jimerson with it.
Oh, they switched off. Now Jimerson's got the, Sandin's got the shorty now.
And this is an advantage for Sandin. He's working on Deion Anderson here. He lowers his head. Stutter steps. Switch. Double fake. He's got a lane, and then Palasoto comes over to help. The ball comes free. Anderson picks it up, and a good defensive play there from Deion Anderson. He waits. He gets hit. Sends a high pass. That one's going to be corralled by Latour, but the ball pops free. Picking it back up is Zacher. Nichols has it again. Quick pass. Out there in front of Samdani, and then he's going to work his way back and giving it to Nate Byer now.
That was an athletic play by Palasoto to come all the way across and help double on Sandin there.
Byer around behind the net. He spins away, trying to find an outlet. That ball pops free again, and then a flag comes down, and then that's going to be a penalty on the Marauders. So with the ball right now is Sandin. Sandin trying to work his way towards the net. He's being forced out by Clark. Still has it. Quick pass here, Zacher. Zacher stutters. He waits. Back to Sandin. Sandin uncorks one, and that one went high. But St. Joe's will be at a disadvantage manpower-wise here in a second as they're going to get another penalty called.
Yeah, I believe they're going to call a slash. He came down over the shoulder. Just got a little over-aggressive on the defensive end. But, boy, I tell you what, you look at the torque that Sandin has on that outside shot. It's an impressive thing.
It
that
really
thing
is.
Rips. And it's not like he's a giant guy.
No.
He's just the physics with him are tremendous with that torque.
The Vikings working the ball around here, trying to come within 2.
They're gonna really sneak Lawton Zacher on the left side there, on the right side, excuse me. They're gonna try and look for him.
Good play by Kasher to knock that ball free. It's loosening the feet of the Nichols attack. Still trying to knock it free. It's kicked free by Sandin, and then he's knocked to the ground. Knocked to the ground, then there's Luca Race, and the ball pops free again. Falling down is Zacher, and we've got some whistles, and a timeout was going to be called by Nichols when they had possession, and that was a mess. It was going to turn into even more of a mess. But the Vikings maintain possession here, 33 seconds through the man advantage situation.
Smart play right there by Brendan Burke, coach of Nichols. He saw there was going to be the bodies were flying. He got that split second of possession and called that timeout because now there's 3:07 left. You're down 3. It's not insurmountable here. You have a man up. You need to get a goal right now. And he saw that and was able to do it. So that's some really good coaching by Brendan Burke.
Yeah, a very nice job there from the Vikings lead man to get the timeout called and maintain possession for his team. Saw there Nathan Byer sort of down, sort of taking in a couple of deep breaths there on the Nichols sideline. He's back in the huddle now. He just seemed a little bit tired after vying for that ball. We mentioned the lack of depth on this team. They just don't have the number of players that the Marauders do. You can see the huddles are so much bigger the huddle is so much bigger for St. Joe's than it is for the Vikings. But yeah, you got to score 1 goal a minute here if you're Nichols. Not insurmountable by any means, and you have 30 seconds where you have one more player on the field than St. Joe's does.
Man, considering you have the guy at face-off who can get you those possessions. If you score, you get that possession right again. You come back down and score. So it goes back to what we talked about earlier. How do you control the pace? Nichols can control it by getting it at the face-off X and then moving and getting good shots here and not taking too many quick ones.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You know, there's 3 minutes left. It doesn't mean you're going to rush. You don't need to rush a shot.
No.
You know, you need to be very, very judicious with how you move this ball around and don't take one that's really not necessary.
Yeah. Well, they get the ball back here out of the timeout. Around behind the net is Jimerson. Sends it back out for Sandin. Back up top for Byer. Gives it back to Sandin. He uncorks one. That one's high and wide once more. Backed up, though, by Nichols, and they'll maintain possession here. Still 14 seconds left with the man advantage.
That was a really good closeout by Palasoto there to make sure that shot couldn't get right where Sandin wanted it.
Jimerson back up top. Byer couldn't corral that pass. That's going to bounce towards midfield, trying to vie for it. It crosses midfield, and now Tyler Smart has it for the Marauders. Smart towards the goal. He might have a one-on-one here. He cuts. He shoots. It just goes over the net. Smart couldn't capitalize. That may have been the dagger. Smart with a golden opportunity for his 5th of the game. He can't capitalize. He had Jones out to lunch, but he couldn't put it in the back of the net, and Nichols will get the ball back here because it was backed up by the Vikings.
Yeah, it was a great play by Charles Kent for Nichols to really hustle back there and get the possession.
Still with it is Byer. The Viking will cross midfield, and now with possession are the Vikings. Jimerson back to Byer all the way across the field. Corralling that is Green. Green has the most recent Nichols goal. Out in front, Hamdani has it. He spins. Ball pops free. Good defensive play there. Then a shot, they score! Scooping it up off the ground is Hamdani, and Kazim Hamdani has narrowed the gap to 2. It's 10-8 now with just 2:04 left to go in this game.
Nichols has really, really ramped up the intensity at this point, and it's rattling St. Joe's a little bit right now. That, as you mentioned, that miss by Tyler Smart could have been the dagger. Instead, it comes down, and they're able to sit there, get a loose ball, easy pickup. I won't say too easy, but for Hamdani to take it right there, right on the doorstep and whip it past Gallo.
That was such a nice play from Hamdani. He scooped it off the ground. The ball popped free, and it looked like it was going to be sort of a vie for it. Instead, picked up by the Viking attackman. Now the ball pops free again at the circle, and it looked like maybe Ventresca tried to put a hold on that. He doesn't. It pops free. Now Nichols has it. Edson Zacher with a shot. That one goes wide, and it's backed up by the Vikings. Minute 52 left to go in regulation. Vikings down by 2.
They just got that back up. That
They
was a
did.
dangerous
Gallo
shot.
almost dove for it. Sandin has it. Ball pops free again, and it's picked up by Kashera. Kashera, low pass, and that's picked up by the Marauders, and Luca Race is going to go the other way. He tries to find an outlet. That one's corralled. Here's Smart. Smart waits, and he doesn't have a lane. He's just going to hold the ball. There was no goalie in the net, and he didn't shoot it.
Oh my.
Tyler Smart still with possession, being defended by Brunton. He's still got the ball here, and that may be something they come to regret here. Timeout's going to be called by the Marauders with possession. Under 90 seconds to go in this game. The Marauders have a 2-goal lead. This game is coming down to the wire. This is high school lacrosse on Western New York Athletics.
I love being home.
We realize now more than ever is the perfect time to have the perfect house. We're confident we'll find your dream home. Howard Hanna. Home happens here.
Sometimes it just isn't your day. We all need a little help from time to time. That's why we're committed to providing safe, quick, and cost-effective care. And we keep it simple. Just walk in. We're here for you. Learn more today.
And we are back. Vinny Cristiano, Tim Kenny with a game that is, I mean, my blood pressure is through the roof right now. This one is quite the contest. The Nichols Vikings at one point found themselves down 7 goals. They've clawed their way back. They're now down 2 goals with under 90 seconds to play. 86 seconds to play to be exact. Tim, the Marauders have possession here. We just saw Tyler Smart get an open net. We thought he was going to shoot it. He doesn't. He maintains possession, works a little bit of clock, but the Marauders have possession out of this timeout. Tell me about what you think his thought process was there on that play.
Well, he made the move, and the goal was open. Now, the Nichols defenders were collapsing very quickly, so he couldn't get a true free hand. So I don't think he just wanted to chance it. So he pulled it out, and it's not a bad thing. He killed about 10 to 15 more seconds off the clock right now. You got 1:26 left. You're up 2. Yes, the goal would have been nice, but he wasn't comfortable with it, and you got to listen. Based on his performance, you can't question it.
The Marauders with possession on the far side. Smart being
Goalie's
double
out.
teamed. The goalie's out. Brock Jones is over there. Smart tried to work his way free. He cuts to the net. He waits. Now he fires, and he scores. Tyler Smart with an insurance marker. It's his 5th of the game. The first goal for St. Joe's in the second half, and they now extend their lead back to 3. It's 11-8 Marauders.
Yeah, Nichols took a chance. They took their chance. They pulled Jones out to double team Smart, and he was able to split the defenders, come right about. That time he had the open look. He wasn't going to not shoot that. I think that it's sometimes things work out the right way. This one worked.
Yeah, now that was you have to sort of take chances in that situation. You are running low on time there, and I think Nichols was at risk of St. Joe's just trying to milk so much clock that they wouldn't have had their opportunity to go on offense. Now Smart buries a goal. They're now up by 3 again, and now they work the ball back across midfield after the draw at midfield. They're going to call, I think, offsides here possibly.
No, I think they're gonna say one of the Nichols players, I believe it was Sandin, left the box before there was possession.
Okay. So now 60 seconds remaining in this game. The Marauders have possession. Wide open, trying to find him. It's deflected just wide of the net. Good defensive play there from Charles Kent to keep that goal out of the net.
In the crease.
And they're going to say the Marauders were in the crease on that one. So Nichols not out of life yet. They're down 3, but there's only 54 seconds left on the clock here in regulation. Brock Jones has it. He sends it to the far side. That's corralled by Jack Green. He headmans that one, trying to find Sandin. He couldn't corral. The ball's free, and Palasoto picks it up. His pass deflected by Green. Knocked out of there by Luca Race back across the midfield line, but possession will go to the Vikings as it deflected off a Marauder sticking out of play. 37 seconds left now. Flag flies here. Vikings with possession. Across midfield is Lawton Zacher.
You got to move now if you want to get this man up and get another chance. You got to take a shot.
Zacher tied up. He waits. He unloads one. That one just goes wide, and the penalty will be assessed here to the Marauders. 25 seconds left on the clock. Man up situation for the Vikings, but they really got to get going here. If they want to bury 3 quick ones, they are not completely out of time, but this would be a tall task for them to come back from this 3-goal deficit this late in the game.
This is a tough one right now. It's 25 seconds left. You are man up. If you could get a quick shot in the score here, it's not out of the realm of possibility, because then you got to win that face-off clean and come right back down. You can't look for the perfect shot now. You've got to throw something on net here, and hopefully it gets by Gallo if you're Nichols.
Gallo hasn't looked quite the same in the second quarter as he has in the first quarter. Now Zacher's going to wait. He fakes a shot. Now he fires a low one. That goes wide. It deflects off of Jimerson behind the net, but he was just trying to jump out of the way of that one, so it's inconsequential whether or not he touched it, so he's going to have possession here. He's still got it. Jimerson does. Looking for an outlet. Doesn't really have one. Back up top now. Quick pass right in front. Firing a shot. They do score. That's Hamdani again. His second goal in a row. Now with just under 10 seconds left, they're down by 2 again.
Unfortunately, this might be a case where the clock is just going to – there's just not enough time on the clock right now for Nichols. Even if they come down and score
their
within
biggest
9
enemy,
seconds, it's going to be the hardest part.
Their biggest enemy is the clock right now. It's going to be so hard for them. I mean, they have to almost shoot from outside the box to get an opportunity to go do that again. I mean, you can make it down the field in maybe 3-ish seconds while running, but, I mean, you have to get a shot that goes in, and then you have to do it again to even tie this game. Face-off at the X. Takes a little bit extra time. Nice play there from Ventresca, and that killed some time, but a push will be called, and the St. Joe's Marauders will have possession, and they're going to give it to Luca Race with 4 seconds left on the clock. He's going to send a pass. That one's knocked free. Coming in with it is Zacher, and he fires a shot with time expiring on the clock. The St. Joe's Marauders have now won 6 Monsignor Martin championships in a row. They are your Monsignor Martin boys varsity lacrosse champions by a score of 11-9.
Well, you got to tip your hat to St. Joe's right now. St. Joe's struggled again a little bit, but they were able to hang on and get what they needed to get done. And I do believe once for Nichols, once Bigelow went out, that became a real tall order, and you got to credit them for staying in this game, being shorthanded like that, because he is one of the best defenders in Western New York right now. And for him not having him plus the low numbers, Nichols did a great job of staying in this game. St. Joe's just had too much at the end, and they had a little more fresher legs.
Yeah, that's a really good point, Tim. And I mean, the Marauders started hot. They were up 4-0 before Nichols scored a goal. Mason Sandin had 3 goals in a row for Nichols, but that wasn't before St. Joe's was up 7-1. St. Joe's was up 10-3 at one point, and then Nichols clawed all the way back. They just ran out of time, Tim.
Yep.
They didn't quite have enough left on the scoreboard to tie this game, but certainly they had momentum late, and they found depth scoring. But Tyler Smart had a fantastic 5-goal game from the junior for the Marauders, and like I mentioned, 6 championships now. Every year that the Marauders, that these players on this Marauder team have gone to the championship game, they have won it.
Yeah, they have, and it's an impressive run right now for St. Joe's and Coach Hudecki and what they've built here at St. Joe's. And, you know, it's interesting how you see the cycle go around in Monsignor Martin. And right now, this is St. Joe's time. They're owning it, but you're seeing teams get closer.
Yeah.
And again, so sometimes that circle goes, and some other teams will come in. And Nichols, while they're losing Lawton Zacher, they have some young talent still on this team that's going to be coming back. You've got Sandin, who's a sophomore. You got Jimison, who's a freshman.
Jack Green's a sophomore.
Jack Green's
as
a
well.
sophomore. Porter is still a junior. He's coming back at the face-off X. They've got a lot of pieces in place right now for coming back. They have nothing to hang their head on. They battled. They lost by 2 in the championship game. Playing shorthanded in the end. So they have nothing to hang their head on, and all the congratulations goes to St. Joe's. They did what they needed to do, and the big gun came out and had 5 goals. Tyler Smart came out, did what he does, and that is what coaches rely on in these big games. Who are your studs, who are going to step up, and today Tyler Smart stepped up.
And we've seen that throughout this season. Tyler Smart has been one of the best players in the Monsignor Martin in general. And today he adds 5. But, yeah, a valiant effort from Nichols. I mean, to come back down such a deficit speaks great, sort of great words about their program. And their ability to do that is very high. And that's not going to be sustainable here. If St. Joe's continues to give up big leads like that, that's something they'll need to work on in the offseason. And their season's not done yet. They will go play in the New York State, state finals, if you will.
They go down to Long Island.
Exactly.
They go down to Long Island, which they had gone to in their break on that trip. So it's a second time going down there, and they know what they're going to be facing, some really tough competition.
And, of course, we will award our very own most valuable player. And it's probably not a surprise who it will be. Tyler Smart, the player of the game, had a fantastic playoffs, fantastic season, and a fantastic championship game. He had the 4th goal of the game for the Marauders. He had the 6th, the 7th, the 9th, and then the 11th, which would ultimately seal the deal for St. Joe's.
And a fine young man, I have to say that. I've gotten to meet him and talk with him a bunch throughout this season, and he's got a great head on his shoulders, just committed to Air Force to play, and he's got another year here at St. Joe's, and it'll be great to see what more he can do going on in the future here. And first of all, see what he does next week against some stiff competition down on Long Island.
Yeah, certainly. The Marauders will definitely need to make sure they're at the top of their game when they travel to Long Island to play in the New York State Championships. But right now, the St. Joe's Marauders captains will head to midfield and receive their regular season and playoff championship trophies. So as the Marauders celebrate, we thank you for joining us today and all season long for our varsity lacrosse action. More games left this week and next week, of course. We've got more lacrosse action in the other leagues across Western New York, and then baseball as well, winding up to their playoffs. So for Tim Kenny, my name is Vinny Cristiano. Thank you for joining us today. Stay safe, stay healthy. We will see you next time. This has been the Monsignor Martin Catholic High School Athletic Association Boys Varsity Lacrosse Championship on Western New York Athletics.